Yo, what's up, everybody? Hope you guys are all doing well. What is today? Is today Tuesday? Today's Tuesday, the 18th. Man, time is flying for sure. We're actually we're at the halfway mark for the year 2024. We're halfway through it, baby. We are halfway through it. That's crazy. That is absolutely crazy. Um, so as you guys can read here, down there, up there, wherever it's at. We're going to do a live reaction and response video to some of the comments, some of the questions, some of the constructive and maybe not so constructive criticisms that I've gotten in response to the recent draft proposal that I put up on Commonwealth in regards to the Juno network. I'm not gonna lie, this isn't like a. Some of them are live, some of them I haven't seen, but I actually have seen quite a bit of them. But this is the first time I'm like officially responding back in regards or reading like entirety of them or responding back in regards to some of these comments, whether they're pro or against my draft. This is the first official like me doing it. Excuse me, I'm still trying to wake up here and get the junk out of my eyes. Ooh, and not fall off my chair. Um, so yeah, let's set up the stage, but let's do our due diligence, right? Because proactive transparency, in all fairness, even if we have critics, even if we know that we might actually be throwing ourselves, uh, you know, in front of the firing squad or into the lion's den, we have to make this information available as much as we possibly can. So let's find ourselves both on YouTube and on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call them, because that's how we do things here. We're trying to restream using Restream app. But let me find myself and let me share it in a Discord for Juno because that's where the Juno community is, or I should say, 1, 2 people are there, and then in the Telegram groups, if I can share links in there, hopefully, so that way people aren't, they can never say, "Well, you didn't let us know, you didn't schedule it, it wasn't fair." Fairness has to be fair. I do this when I can, when I can, if I can. So you get what you get. Like I tell my kids, you get what you get and you don't throw a fit. Until I'm actually elected, if I am, and or compensated in this role, I'm doing it for free so you can get it when you get it. I'm just joking. Let me 1 second. Let me bring it up. Let me bring it up. No, I'm talking too much. Let me bring it up. Oh, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. Bring up YouTube real quick. Take off my caps lock. And there's much other things that I'm rather be doing right now than having to deal with certain things. But I thought that this would be the most transparent and fair way to go about doing it without trying to, which is hard. Excuse me, even for myself, I just scarfed like a turkey burger because I'm trying to eat healthy. I'm just like burping all over the place. But this I thought this was the best way to actually respond to some of these criticisms or questions, or even like constructive feedback or suggestions, without taking it personal. Like let's actually just get like a realistic uh, view of the landscape on what's actually happening with the draft. Like, what's the actual response? I don't want it to just be me saying everybody thinks they like. I don't want to just be me saying everybody likes me or everybody hates me or stuff like that. Let's actually just look. Let's just look and see what's out there, right? And let the response speak for itself. So let me go to my channel right here. Let me pull this up so I can share it. Oh, shut up, you. If you guys are on whatever platform you are, retweet, share, let people know that we actually have this going on so that all the people that are in favor, all the people that might be skeptics, all the people that are like middle of the road, don't know where they're at, or even all of my haters, they all have the equal fair chance to come and attack me, criticize me, give me praise, whatever it is, right? Or like give constructive, good feedback so that we can build upon and make things better. But yeah, Skillet says, "Pamp it." We're gonna look. We're gonna do our best to bring activity back to the chain, right? That's all. That's hopefully activity does bring number go up, but that's my main goal is to bring activity back to the chain. That's all I want to do. That's all my goal is. Just bring activity back to the chain. Let's start getting a buzz. Let me see if I can find the Juno network on my Telegram. It's summer here. I know it's summer here. Maybe it's like so far down because nothing's happening. Juno, no, no. Where's my Juno? Hold on. Gosh, if I type this in, it's going to be everywhere. Oh, here we go. Juno. There. So people can watch it there if they want. Let me post this in the Discord. They're going to be like, you shouldn't be posting it in Discord. Hold on 1 second. Blah, blah, blah. I'm campaigning. This is what campaigning looks like, my friends. This is what campaigning looks like, right? There you go. Sasha's already done it. Thank you, Sasha. I see that in the. I guess I don't need to beat a dead horse. Let me just delete that there. You've already posted it, so there's no real reason for me to keep doing it like that. There we go. Yeah. There we go. There we go. All right. So first things first, right? First things first. Let's go ahead and let's share my screen here. Let's share my screen here. First thing we're gonna do is we're gonna go and look where I first initially made my comment, right? Oh, and I should actually say full disclosure. So before I do that, I have been part of the Juno working group. I have now and still am part of the active charter as a operations delegate, which I was voted in by the people of the Juno network. And so full disclosure, so you guys know, right? There's that. Um, let's go ahead and go to. I want to share with you guys my personal Twitter account. But by the way, if you guys haven't been following, it's just CryptoTank _. Please definitely do me a favor and follow. Let's go, Chicken Tacos. What's up, my friend? What's up, my friend? Let's go. So definitely follow me here. I want to take you to where I initially posted. Here we go. This was my initial post. Dear Juno Network and community, I am no longer confident with the charter's current structure and I have submitted a draft on Commonwealth expressing my intentions going forward. I will fulfill my commitments as a delegate up till and when a conclusion is reached. Please review the Juno Commonwealth discussion, and I'm going to bring up that here in just a little bit. But as you can see, let's just go. We had 60 likes, 22 retweets, and 25 direct comments or interactions. It reached 18.1 views. So, like, it was pretty impactful. It reached 18.1 views, right? It was cool. It was like I haven't even looked at the post engagement thing. So, what does this do? Oh, well, whatever. It just shows you a bunch of that other stuff. Okay, whatever. We can go back and look at this ourselves. Cosmos News says it's nice to see somebody doing something. This is just me being fair. I just want to read the comments, right? Like this. Let's just read them. Nice to see somebody doing something about Juno. Might just be what everybody needs to get interested. You have the full support of Cosmos News. 16 likes on that one. I said thank you. Reese, which was our main dev for a long time, very much involved with the Juno network in the past, and even probably still currently, even though you guys don't think so, says support with his praise hands. I also just try to keep it simple and said thank you. G, I haven't read this one, says, hey, Tank, some questions have largely ignored Juno since, like a lot of people, since April 2022, their current charter. Whom does it govern? Good question, right? How would you consolidate all decision making and operational control? Doesn't this mean you still need to establish big words, executive authority and make let me expand this. Excuse me. What's up, Striker? What's good, IBC gang? Man, how you doing? Let me finish my thoughts here. Doesn't this mean you need to establish executive authority and make the DAOs subservient to you in the charter if the charter governs the Juno chain? Yeah, we'll get to that in a little bit. Yeah, some things need to be changed within the charter. Again, I do want to express to everybody, I'm not, with what I proposed, my vision does not dissolve the charter. It just restructures it. It just puts it in a place, or my thought process, and you'll see this in a little bit, of more efficiency. But yeah, some of these things will be like that right there. Some of these things will be addressed here in a little bit. Crypto Danny says 100% support with that. I love it. I love it. I love it. Curious J says, at this point, I'm for anything. I'd like to suggest onboarding to partial set security and make Juno a fun chain. More of these tokens can be utilized for other purposes other than validators dumping to secure the chain. Go for it. 8 likes on that one. Kevin Garrison, which was in the leadership position before, I hope I'm saying that right, says, thank God, support. Sencom from the Migaloo, Miggly them are going through their thing. Says they support this. I also give them a like here. Chicken tacos, which we just saw. My main mod says support. I appreciate it, man. Striker, I appreciate you too, man. Doing great, 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 great. Glad to hear it. Dragon Monk with the Dragon Ball. I love it. I love it. I love Dragon Ball is one of my favorite. He says, "Go Tank." Give him a like, of course. Dude on the internet says, "I'm torn on this. Yes, I want someone to lead the network, but the vision is severely flawed. A Dex and an NFT platform? Question mark. Juno needs meaning and cause to exist, not more of the same. We don't need to give up community leadership for that. I disagree. But then again, I'll go into those things in just a little bit myself. A little bit biased, but I'll give you guys my thoughts on why we actually need these things. Gucci Squatch says, this needs to be done. Support. If anyone can turn this around, is is a business savvy individual like yourself who is familiar with Juno. I appreciate that. Bruce Man says, got my vote with the thumbs up, thumbs up. I like it. Simple, simple. So I'm just seeing, and I'm just putting it out there. The first initial responses that I've read through so far, pretty good, right? Caught up some questions and stuff like that, but nothing just like totally negative. Farmer, yep, yep, yep. 100% support. Let's effing go. I don't know how to say this. I'm going to butcher your name. I'm sorry. Alani? Shit, it sounds like a Hawaiian name. Well done. Hope your proposal gains support. The project needs some adults in the room. Appreciate that. Collateralized cactus. I like some of these names. This is pretty based. In my laughing my ass off. I wish Effort Capital did this for the hub, but he's too busy eating bacon, eggs, and cheese. I don't blame him. All the best, mate. Mike from Cybernetics says it's a yes! Explanation mark. I really do appreciate that. He's got a lot of likes there. Variant says no. Hey, I support your no. Let me give you a like right there. I support you saying no. Everybody has their own opinion, right? Tank for Prez, Wave of Light. I appreciate that. Appreciate your support, my friend. Octavian. Love it. Simple. Pablo says voting yes as fast as this goes on chain. I really do appreciate it. Mad says, hi, Juno needs some nice drop like Tia to accelerate network. Lack of price drops will decrease. I don't know, but I'm just going to view that as a like anyway. There were some other ones like here. This post is from an account you muted. Oh, it's probably, I've only ever, who did I mute? Oh, yeah. Agent Gensler, SEC. This is a known trolley person. Absolute power corrupts absolutely. And I think you guys are, well, you guys are wrong, but I think you guys are just misled. This is not absolute power. Any elected leader is always going to be beholden to the vote of the people, much like the charter is right now, and much like everything should be going forward. The people will always have the power to vote off any decision or anybody. That's how it should remain always. There should never be absolute power. I know a lot of people have like memed it and like, I've kind of played around with the fun joke of it all and stuff like that, like, dictatorship, absolute power, and all this other stuff. Matter of fact, I said it when I was very, very mad. Like, I just want absolute control to an extent. Everything's to an extent, right? Um, Absolute control until the chain or the people vote you off. So there can never actually be private entity within this space because the chain is governed by governance in the way that it is. And so when people say that kind of stuff, they're just really misinformed. They're actually promoting a narrative that's not factual. Again, we're a proof of stake network that has governance by the people. And so in that essence, it can never be a private entity unless the people voted for that and gave up their rights within that proposal. And nobody's done that. Nobody's even proposed that. So, yeah. So again, I appreciate the concerns. I'm not gonna like it. Well, I'm gonna like it anyway. I don't like following you though, because you are a trolly person. Anyway, show more. This person has been very much against me. Expose or build it, whatever. Even if your intentions are good, we don't need another NFT marketplace. Again, I think you're wrong about that. Or Dex. Again, I think you're wrong about that. The focus is DAO DAO. Okay. How are we going to make money off DAO DAO? If you have good intentions, why not start building something in Juno first? I am building something in Juno right now without asking for community funds or taking from the community pool in that regard. I've been doing that for a little while now, even before I got fed up with things. I miss the days in crypto where people showed actions instead of just asking for handouts. Let me just like you because, even my critics need likings. I've been here since the get. And so, like, my actions hopefully speak louder than words. But anyway, I really like that. I live by that. Let your actions speak louder than the words. Some people would like to diminish your actions and have their words speak louder than your actions. But uh, you know, don't get it confused. I've been here for since it was birth, and I've been voicing my opinions and trying to you know interject whenever I could. Hell, I even this is my first Commonwealth prop. I actually did the Spirit of Juno a long time ago, which got rejected, right? And I like to think that the Spirit of Juno is what snowballed into what now is the discussion of the charter. But some people would say that that wasn't it, and they don't want you to believe that that was it. But it's kind of funny if you go back and you actually know the history of things, how things played out, and who was tooting what horn when. So yeah, I agree with you. I miss those days as well. I wish actions did speak a lot louder than some people's words, but that's neither here nor there. But that's let me see here. That looks like the end of my initial post. I want to start from the very beginning and go through everything with a fine-tooth comb, right? So that everybody has a fair shake. Everybody has a fair shake. So going into here, we're going to go to the next step and we're going to review the Commonwealth proposal. I might flash grenade you, by the way. Let me see if I can put this on dark mode. Dark mode, please. Oh my gosh, thank you. I was dying right there for a second. Let me go ahead and bring up the Commonwealth post now. Let me see here. Skill Deck says our marketplaces work already with Dada. We did a test already. Good, that's good. I'm glad. I think we should have multiples. I think we should have many different iterations of NFT platforms and markets. I think that's great. I think that's awesome, right? Good. I'm glad things work on Dada. Let's go here. So I'm going to just read out the elected leader of the Juno Network proposal that I put up there. Um, excuse me. Excuse me. Dear Juno Network, I, CryptoTank, hereby propose to assume complete control as an elected leader of the Juno Network for a 6-month period. Oh, well, wait. I'm sorry. I'm not even sharing my screen. Sorry. Hold on. Sorry. I had to share my screen there. This proposal involves a transition of all decision making and operational control to myself during this term, ensuring a centralized approach to the network's administration. By consolidating authority under my leadership, I aim to streamline decision making processes, reestablish security and maintenance measures, cut expenses, and foster rapid development for our beloved Juno network. My exclusive oversight will enable swift response to future opportunities, emerging challenges, as well as strategic planning for network activity and development. Let me go down here. I'm one of those people that have to read with my fingers sometimes. I'm not even going to lie. It's because I'm blind. This proposal advocates for a paradigm shift towards a singular authoritative figure to guide the Juno network towards success and sustainability. If elected, I will ensure efficiency, accountability, transparency, and innovation in all operational facets. Below is a brief overview of myself and vision. Actually, can I do, let me this after reading a lot of things. Let me show you guys my edited draft now after seeing some criticisms because I did agree that it needed a little bit more edits. But actually, you know what? I think it's actually down there. Did I put it down there? Yes, I did right here. So right there, pause. Right there, pause. This is two of the illustrations that I wanted you guys to actually see firsthand. Going forward, you guys can't really see this all too well, so let me share with you guys the actual illustration here. Okay, let me share this real quick. Let me share this real quick for you guys. Mm-mm-mm. Window. Yes. Boom. Hopefully, you guys can see this. So the current charter structure is as follows. Let me see if I can zoom in just a little bit for you guys here. Maybe make that a little bit bigger for you guys. This is basically the current charter structure, right? Which again, I'm a part of. The Juno governance is above it all, the council, and then we have our individual departments underneath the council, which, we have our elected representatives that all feed back and represent us to the council, and then they're supposed to make, their governance votes, and then it's supposed to get implemented. So Juno governance, council, comms department, ops department, dev department. The departments manage the treasury and ask RFPs or requests for proposals to actually get work done. So, excuse me, excuse me, allergies, man, allergies. It's summertime here. Yeah, I guess it's officially summertime here. Um, so again, the departments manage the treasury and ask for RFPs to actually get the work done. There's the social for comms department, social chat calls. Ops department does administrative work. Dev department is supposed to do blockchain maintenance, chain upgrade support, DApp development support, which they actually do have, I think, an agreement going right now for DApp development, which is super cool. Which is super cool. Good for them. And relayer activity validator set, et cetera, et cetera. Right, all things that dev department should do. But the way that this is being handled right now is the individuals so far, and again, I'm just speaking from my perspective, my point of view, and my history and interaction as it is from my eyes and my view. The dev department is not fulfilling this role themselves. They are RFPing, like this says here, are trying to look for contributors, independent operators to do this work for them. So they're like basically just laying down the ground rules of how like they would actually hire people, and then they're trying to get people by putting out RFPs. My opinion is they've gotten a couple like the DApp development. I think they finally got to an agreement, but it's lacking, right? There's not been a lot of people wanting to step up and do the work within the guidelines that the department has put forth, even though I do think a lot of them were fair. I just think that workers don't want to be handcuffed in certain ways, right? The workers that we have and in the way that they are right now within the Cosmwasm or crypto landscape when it comes to smart contract developers and or blockchain developers as well. A lot, it's really hard because we're setting up guidelines, which in some instances are quite fair, and then a lot of times though do not favor the workers, and so we're having a hard time capturing interest because of those things, and because we really don't have a lot of money to entice workers that may or may not think that their work is overvalued. That's neither here nor there. But that's really the problem that I think has been happening. Same thing with the comms department, right? Like they were trying to RFP a lot of things out. Again, there have been people like Mac and Highlander who were quote unquote contracted employees to begin with from the previous structure that was in power. And the problem that they were suffering was, they were also trying to fulfill RFPs, but they were also trying to get uh, a narrative out there, a narrative and or messaging out there or branding when we really didn't have anything else happening. So there was not that much for them to do, right? Not much for them to report back or to like as some people would like to call it, just make AI images like over and over and over. There really wasn't much um, in that regards. Administration department, again, I'm a little biased because I worked with them. Hats off to all of these guys. Really enjoyed working with all of them. Cristiano has been an absolute leader. He's killed things with the budgeting and coming up with things and taking initiative and doing structure and stuff like that. Again, I should actually say each one of these departments, I think, did the same thing as what I'm about to say right here. The operational departments earlier on when we were elected, we actually came together as a group, and when we were asking ourselves like who has the capacity, who has the time to do said things, everybody stepped up and said, yeah, I'll be the charter council elect representative, I'll be the backup, which was Mac. Unfortunately that didn't pan out. He had to leave for who knows what reasons, but we all kind of like said, okay, and I only have this much capacity because my in real world muggle world, I have other responsibilities, and this is pretty much for pro bono, and we're doing this out of the goodness of our heart because we definitely weren't getting paid enough to take on all these responsibilities in such a way. But like I told him, I run several businesses at the time. Like I only have so much capacity to delegate towards certain things at the moment, so I couldn't run for this or that, or to be the council representative or this that, and like so we divided up our responsibilities like each one of these developers or departments should have done, development department, comms department as well, and we came to terms with it. And so Cristiano was, again, to just go back to my point, just a powerhouse within the operations department. I want to give him a lot of credit there. I really, really respect the guy and his work. I still do as well. Really value his work. Demi as well. Demi has been a tremendous value add to the ops department. I thought we were very, very fortunate to have his involvement in the ops department. Really respected his work, still do, and value it very, very much. Um, Mac was a big benefit until he just stopped showing up. And then I just interjected whenever I could, like I said many, many times before, with what I know and my you know with my inputs in the structure of the ops department. Um, People have their opinions about what's strong, what's not. With like admittingly, with a lot of encouragement from Cristiano and within a lot of my own everyday Muggle life, uh, we were able to actually also not just make a budget with Cristiano's efforts, but with people's encouragement and with the proposals that I put forth. Yes, which was a team effort. We were actually able to also successfully claw or migrate over Juno funds that were just floating around in inactive community members, which are no longer community members, inactive multi sigs that weren't being controlled by the Juno community. So I thought the operations department did really good things, and that was just two things to highlight. Right, in between that, we were actually able to do. We created the liquidity sub DAO. We were able to do things with the delegations program, which really wasn't much, but we did actually get that back under control and implemented back to the chain so that people that were running validators still got that support. We were managing that. And then we were also able to take a look at other requests from other departments, question them, validate them, and send them funds when all requested so that they can achieve what they were trying to do in a timely manner. So we were actually able to actually approve and deploy funds to the dev department so that they can interact with what they were trying to do, and that, that initiative could get pushed forward. So we've done, I think, in the ops department, I can only say again what I know because I was an ops member, tremendous work. Like super good, I think super good beneficial work. We pushed everything forward to where we could. We got some of our old commitments handled and done. We organized along, again, a lot of this was Cristiano, but organized as a team a way to actually start building a treasury or funding with the excuse me, I see my kids like going crazy down there. With the what I'm trying to think of. Um Calc finance strategy, right? To start like not creating big sell pressures and stuff like that. And so that some of these initiatives could get funded. Some of these people could create RFPs and stuff like that. So I thought the ops department did a wonderful job. And again, I made it to just about every meeting. I think I maybe missed one or two. And I was there as much as I contributed as much as I possibly could. So that's the current structure. That's what's up, Chris. That's our current structure. Good morning. Good morning. The What I'm deeming GSD structure or get shit done structure, not very professional, but it's going to be honest, shows the structure like this. Look, and if you guys are paying attention, it doesn't dissolve the charter, right? All it does is it reorganizes and puts an elected leader above the council so that that person could create guidelines and oversight and someone to report to, right? Who's more direct, who can say, hey, no, 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 let's get this stuff focused on and done. What's the hold up here? Why execute, right? Anyway, as you guys can see, the Juno governance is always above the Juno leader and the Juno council, right? As it is right now. That should actually be there in hindsight, looking back now, should actually be shown there. The Juno governance is it actually is, I guess, above the council right here. Here, the Juno governance is still above the leader. It doesn't have to be; it could be anybody, and the council, right? The elected by the community. It defines the Juno vision and objectives for the next 6 months. Again, we're talking about the GSD structure, right? As I'm calling it. It helps coordinate the various departments to reach these objectives. And I'm sorry if you guys can't really see this all too well. It approves, denies salaries for individual members of the departments. And let's just be honest, this is called a spade, right? There's been people who have been getting paid for just being flies on the wall, right? That can't happen. And so if like there needs to be authority to ensure that this doesn't keep happening. It's wasteful spending. It's not efficient. It approves and denies general expenses as well. As you guys can see here on this side here, it's composed by department representatives and a leader, the council, right? The leader is above the council and their elective I like to call them advisors. I like to get away from this term council, but as it is right now, I'd like to just kind of mirror a profitable business, even though you got to choose your words because apparently some people are going to start attacking what you say and twisting it in many different ways. I think while this can never be a private entity, right? I think parts of the structure within this blockchain should definitely be ran like for-profit businesses. But anyway, in this example, composed by the department and representatives is the council here. They guard the treasury and fulfill the leader directions. Again, much like we're doing here, where it's not the leader, right, that's in charge of everything. There is safeguards. They do checks and balances of the other departments. Again, the representatives. If we have, and this is another thing too, right? We've created a thing here, and let's just be honest. The dev department, there's one person, Cope Boy, that wants to stay, as far as I know. I might be speaking out the side of my mouth, and I don't want to do that. I don't want to put my words as facts because I don't want to speak for him. But from what I understand, and again, this could be wrong, but they've already expressed this. Porborough does not want to rerun for their delegate role or their position within the dev department. Ray Raspberry also does not want to run for a second term for his position. Andre also does not want to run for a second term. So we have one person, which should be five. We have one person, though, right now, who is wanting or is willing to actually keep running in this dev department. We'll get to why this is kind of a problem anyway, because all we're going to be doing is looking for new elected positions and trying to bring them up to speed for the next 6 months, because the people that say they care and want it to be here either don't find it worthwhile or, yeah, let's just say don't find it worthwhile anymore, right? So we basically just replaced and brought it closer to our chest, but just repeated exactly what we just did, right? So anyway, and even in the ops department, Dimi wants to go back to being a blockchain dev, which I don't blame him. I think people got to go back to their strengths. Mac, no longer, he doesn't even show up anymore. Lee has, I don't know if this is true, but he has expressed his concerns and that, anytime he tries to do anything in the position of ops department, which I'll give him credit, he's come to as many meetings as he possibly can. He's been forthcoming about that. But like he also is questioning if he wants to run. Cristiano and myself, as far as I know, we're the only ones willing to do it again. Out of comms department, everybody has expressed their interest to not run as a delegate again, right? So even though everybody's like, oh, we need to keep this charter alive, the vast majority of the current delegates aren't going to be there anyway. But they're in sub-DAOs now, controlling multi-sigs and funds that they said they wanted. Anyway, I just want to point that out. Right? They do checks and balances of other departments. They make sure that these individuals, the ones that want to stay, actually get stuff done. Departments get shit done directly, pardon my French, unless they are over capacity. They need to report to their representative, who needs to report to the leader. So here's the big difference in where we're at right here. Here, the biggest difference is, right, the departments that were put in power were trying to RFP or put out requests for proposals for other people to contract do this work for them. Right? They weren't doing the work. They just wanted other people to do the work. I thought the ops department, only speaking for myself and a little biased, did a lot of our work ourselves, right? Did a lot of the work ourselves. Not saying others didn't as well. None of comms did. And, the department, they do what they can do when they can do. But the structure here was saying, let's contract other workers out, right? Contract workers. That's the best way to go about doing that. Here, what I'm saying is put somebody in charge over the council representatives or board members. Have those people that are in these structures be willing to directly get the work done. So if you're a dev, do the dev work here. If you want to get paid, do the dev work. Don't try to contract it out. If you're not able to, then sure, we need to find somebody or bring somebody in that can maybe help your department. But if you want to do the work, you should be here to do the work, right? Same thing as comms. We don't need 5 other people to do comms, right? We don't. Maybe even we consolidate and that goes into one department, which is, and we call that the operations department in everything. Maybe it should just be a mixture of the comms department and operations department, and then we just have two of them. Really, why do we have so many? It's kind of wasteful. So anyway, the get shit done structure is just looking to not dissolve or do away. We're just trying to cherry pick the best things that we had and make them more efficient, right? Stop slowing up and roadblocking the blood flow, the stream, the workflow of things, and open it up so that the heart, the body, the mind can actually get the blood flow it deserves so it can be efficient and it can produce action, right? Action hopefully equates to value, but we're just looking for action on the chain, action within the network. That's all we're really trying to do. Um, Mind you, I will say, we had before I go any further, we had with this current structure, we had a proposal go out, which was an RFP to get a DEX done for us, uh, and that has still not started. Has still not started under the way that this has been a long time coming already. By any other, and per the words of the people involved, by any other standard or any other normal, Web3 business structure, the I would say the bid for work would have been null and void because of the time to execute or the time to accept or the time to pay for that bid has been long dead and gone, right? The ops department gave the first tranche of money to the dev department. The dev, I don't know what happened here, could not reach agreements and send those funds on over to Kintsugi, as far as I know. And then the dev department, which is made up of people who no longer want to be part of it, are on a multi-sig holding value now. And you know what? They're still going to be making, they're still going to be in charge of things when they're no longer in the charter. If Kintsugi or if the people that bid for the RFP still even want to honor their bid, like it's maddening. It's crazy to me. It's so inefficient. It's so questionable. Anyway, so we get rid of all this stuff. This is the structure that I'm looking for. This is what I would like to do. Hopefully that makes a little bit of sense to you guys, and you guys can kind of understand some of my frustrations when it comes to things. I know you guys can see this, so we're just going to go back to the elected Commonwealth post here. The GSD implementation plan one. Again, I noticed that there was maybe some typos in here. I'll fix this again. I'm not perfect, right? 2-week window where anyone can apply as a leader, not just myself, anybody with the chops, anybody with the gumption, like, or anybody with the balls, I would say, because this gets really hairy. Not that all balls have to be hairy, but this gets really, really difficult, right? If you have it, step up to the plate. This is just what I'm envisioning. There should be a 2-week window where anyone can apply from the community as a leader. The leader should present himself with a business plan for the next 6 months and a budget. And when I say this, do your best. You don't have to be, and you won't ever fulfill everybody's request and or demands. Some people are just unreasonable. They want you to detail things out like in totality because they want to use that to hang you with. Sometimes less is more. Not saying that that was what I did, but I purposely tried to be not as detailed as though I wanted to be, and I think should be, because this tightrope that you have to walk is a very fine and stressful tightrope, right? And so again, I'm not trying to give myself every excuse, but I think that there should be a general business plan and there should be a budget, that you should present. The leader gets elected to the budget is allocated to the current council DAO. And that gets implemented, right? The departments get restructured. Only people willing to directly work towards the department's objectives will stay. People will be paid out of salary for the work that they do. People should get paid. I think it's ridiculous, even if we don't have a lot of funds, to ask people to do things for fucking free. That's probably why we have a lot of people wanting to leave, because it's not worth it. People will be paid out of a salary for the work that they do. People can be appointed to the department by election, directly by the leader or directly by the department representatives. The leader defines objectives on a monthly basis and assigns it to the various departments. Department representatives are responsible on making sure the team is working to reach these objectives. Much like the regular world, things change, things are fluid. You can't really detail things all too far out right? Like inflation scales and all that stuff, because you don't know what the landscape's going to look like too far out. And so again, I think month to month is pretty fair. Each month has usually its own challenges, because everything is always fluid and developing as we go on, right? Point five is every month the leader assesses the progress of every department and chooses to pay or not the salaries based on measurable deliveries. Some people are like, oh, I don't want other people actually judging what I'm valued or what I'm worth. I just want to have a flat base, no questions asked. I'm gonna get paid or not. It's kind of unrealistic, right? In the regular world, when you have a job, most people have a boss or a leader that they actually have to go back to, not a collective of equal leaders of five different people, because that's how you get stalemates and nothing done, right? But somebody, a CEO, COO, CFO, everybody has somebody above, right? That is assigned that hard task of making the judgment call of if the work was deemed worthy to still remain employed and or to be uh you know valued as much as to where you actually get compensated for it. That's literally what the real world is like in any position, elected or not. That's literally what the real world is like. It's kind of funny that everybody's always like, it's unrealistic and this is just crazy. Like there's so many unrealistic things that people throw around. It's comical at best. After 6 months, though, because I do think there should be a term limit for everything, right? After 6 month period, a new leader can be elected, or the current one can rerun for the same position. I don't think anything should be for indefinitely, forever, concrete, right? Again, the people should always have the power in their hands by governance, and there should always be a term limit, right? So we're like, say we just give this a go. It could be me, could not be me. We give this a go. It's 6 months time. If it's not working out, it's just not working out. Like in 6 months time, I myself or whoever else has to reelect or has to put in a bid, has to put in the effort to get something going, right? So let's see here. Let me go to the comments here. It says 7,500 is a decent rate, but it's a lot of work. It's a lot to work on. If it isn't successful, this could be a deadly. Yeah, it could be a deadly task. Yeah, it could. It's a lot of work. I think 7,500 in comparison to what we're currently spending right now is a fair ask. You're. I mean, hell, we got 15 people. Let me just take this off for the moment. We got 15 people in the current structure getting paid anywhere between, at the current time when we understood it, 600 to 700 in what was it, Juno or whatever it is, or dollars even. If you look at that, or I think it was dollars. But if you look at that, right? Let me just see here, because math's not my strong point. Off like on spot, I can do everything with the calculator, and I suggest you guys do that too. Let's just say on the low hand, everybody was getting 15 people, which it wasn't, because we had like some people that like Dimmy wasn't getting paid, Highlander and all this other stuff. Um, and some people are getting more paid more too. I should just say that. But 15 people, $600 a piece, right? That's $9,000 in the current structure that we had a month. That's $9,000. You know, at that it's less more because the token's going down. But so you take off some people from that. The person that's taking on more risk, the elected leader, whoever it is, it could be whoever next, right? Um, should I mean I think it's fair. I think you should get paid. But even my ask for $7,500 a month, I told you guys I would vest that for double the amount of the elected time frame for a year. It could be far less than that, right? 70 what was 7,500 divided by two? Guys, come on, do the math there. That's $3,750 a month. That's like a Walmart worker, not shaming Walmart workers. That's a grocery worker's salary, right? Low level grocery work, 37.50. And my other half, or the elected person, whoever it is, that if they do get elected, it could be much less. The hell, the token goes down every month, right? The delegates, hell, what I understood, it's far less. My shit's worth like $400 now, and I haven't spent any of it. You know, yeah, it's a lot. Are the people willing to work for it? A lot of people, as we can see, don't think that it's worth sticking around, because even the people that are on the current, and I can't speak for this is why, even the people that are on the current structure, no longer, the vast majority of them want to remain or want to actually run for nominations again. Is it that unrealistic? 10K is rough, and Juno was just going down consistently. Yeah, 10K is easy. 10K was rough. Like, yeah, regardless. But like again, you have to spend. You have to spend, and I will say this too. And we're gonna get into some of these comments because I saw some of these. Maybe actually, you know what? Let's do this. Let's be fair and go over it. From the bottom because this is the way Commonwealth is. Let's go from the bottom, and then we'll go up because that's the way the Commonwealth puts everything, right? It puts the most recent one to the top and the past ones are on the bottom. So a couple of days ago on the 16th, it says Crypto Tank is the right man for the job. This is from Lee. I'm going to just give that a thumbs up myself. Copeboy says, what a drastic change here. Another extraction of value. The Copeboy, by the way, is on the development department. So he's on the current charter. What a drastic change here. Another extract. I don't see if he's talking about my position. I've been saying this from a long time ago. So I don't understand where this drastic change like narrative is coming from. I've literally said these things for forever, for a long time now. I don't understand what you guys mean by drastic change. I've always told you guys that I'm concerned about this structure not being efficient enough, fluid enough, or in a way that it was going to actually produce any kind of reasonable results. So I don't, again, I'm just going to say right here, I don't understand what drastic change you're talking about either. Another extraction of value from the community funds, and which I will say doesn't really make sense because we're spending more as it is right now, and we're putting more funds in jeopardy as it is right now, because even the people in your department don't actually want to stay on the multi-sigs, which they actually have command over. So extraction of value, what are you talking about? I want to say actually too, by the way, before I keep going, I actually really respect Colt Boy's previous and current work. I find his work very valuable. I'm not judging people by that. I judge people by the involvement and the work done. So I do want to make this comment because I know I'm going to get into this. I don't need to respect you to work with you. I don't need to respect you or rub your back at all. Grow the fuck up. I don't need to respect any of my peers. I do think as a person, for myself personally, if it's warranted, I should, and if it's deemed worthy, respect your work. I judge people by their actions. That's what I do, right? And their consistency. That's what I do. So Colt Boy and other people, which I'll get to in a little bit, I do respect your work previously and currently. I think that you've been a tremendous help. So again, all these personal attacks on my character, I'm pretty thick skinned, but I will not tolerate and I will respond back in turn, right? Defamation of character and stuff like that, like the gaslighting, the fear mongering, or the broad stroke color painting of a person, have at it. I'm fine with it. But know right now, I don't need to respect you guys as people. Grow up. That's not how the real world works. Just like in the real world, I have Democratic friends, I have liberal friends, I have super big conservative friends. I can get along with them and be productive on a day-to-day basis without having to get into that serious bullshit deep hole that people want to dig with their emotions. I'm too old for that. You see these gray hairs? I live in America. I've been here. I don't just talk about it. I'm here. I've been a vet. I'm a vet. I've been doing this. Let me see. Chris says, yeah, it is hard work saving a sinking ship. It is. And it's not even worth it's I'll be honest with you, 7,500 or 30, whatever, is not worth it to me. But I'd feel bad. And the only reason I'm even doing this is that if somebody does it, if I don't, because I actually believe these things, I would feel even more worse if I don't give it a shot. Chris says, you pointed out reservations from the get-go publicly on stages and said you'd give it a chance, but you had your concerns. Yeah, at least, I don't know, maybe they just completely forgot. But yeah, respect is earned and not warranted. It's not guaranteed, guys. And it's I don't. So anyway, let me go back into what Colt Boy, because I do want to give everybody their fair shake, and I do want to respond in turn with everybody's constructive criticisms, supportive comments, and or questions. Another extraction of value from the community funds, and maybe an NFT marketplace. Yeah, yeah, I'm building one right now without asking you guys. I never wanted to because I thought it was ridiculous. I thought it was ridiculous. So I'm building one right now with individuals who can get it done and will get it done. And also the NFT platform will have a huge benefit for the network because people need to build things selflessly, right? And so we're doing that. There's functions within our NFT platform that are super different than minting on Stargaze, Backbone Labs, anywhere else on OmniFlix that would benefit the chain directly than just having an outpost and minting it with the token. Minting it with the token does absolutely nothing. Matter of fact, it puts the need for utility in the hands of the creators instead of the platform itself. There needs to be a benefit for people to actually mint further than just with the token. So yeah, yeah. NFT marketplace. Again, all of you guys that are like, it's so funny to me that you guys are developers, but you guys can't see past your own like your own, what's in your brain. Like, that's scary. That's super scary. I'm not a blockchain, but I'm learning because God knows we can't keep going on with this route. Another extraction of value from the community funds and maybe an NFT marketplace. Do we have an estimate of the transaction? No, we don't, because nothing's guaranteed. We don't have an estimate of the transactions it's going to guarantee or that it's going to do. We don't even know if people are going to use it because we don't have one. Is that a fair comment to even make? How can we actually maybe if we're going to go ahead and estimate, right, and play that role, we can look at any of the other NFT platforms that are out there. How many transactions are on their chain based on the NFT? Omniflix, Stargaze, right? Backbone Labs. All of them have a humongous. Any one of them that actually had Archway even just came out with the NFT with the Archies, right? For many of these chains, the vast majority of transactions that's ever happened from the community have happened because of NFTs. So in that regards, if I did the averages of that, maybe we can expect spillover. I don't know. Maybe we're not gonna get exactly that, but maybe we'll get some spillover, right? Maybe we'll get some people that find benefit in the platform and the utilities and the functions and the way that it will function going forward, and they'll say, you know what, maybe we'll find out. But it's probably be a lot more than what we got right now with transactions. Anything's better than nothing, right? Yeah, estimations are very subjective. They don't really mean shit. And I can't guarantee anything. So if you're looking for me to guarantee something so that you guys can hang me with it later, you're going to have to try really, really hard because I'm not guaranteeing anything. I'm not even guaranteeing total success when it comes to this initiative as an elective leader. It might be a total flop, right? It might. There's no guarantees at all. I might die tomorrow. I don't want that to happen. Please knock on wood. I might walk out of here after having this thing and I die, right? Same thing with the charter right now. People on these multi-sigs and stuff, they could be all going to Cosmoverse or wherever it is, get hit by a plane, and there goes all of that. There's no guarantees. There's no guarantees. So let's make that absolutely clear if that's what you guys are trying to go for. Has anyone from the community expressed any interest in it? I think so. I mean, first and foremost, we've had many, people express in the past, and we've seen actual very successful projects in the past move elsewhere because of NFTs. If you guys don't remember, Passage, which everybody loves, right, was first being built in Juno, right? 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 There was a lot of NFTs that were here. There was the whole loop thing and all the NFTs that were there. Jacob, which I absolutely love Jacob to death, and his Atlas DAO was a Juno thing. There was a lot of interest, but we don't have anything to give these people back, to get them back, to try to attract them back. There was never any support for it. It was just people saying, well, no, not going to work because I don't like NFTs. It's ridiculous to say. We have Crypto Dungeon saying, I'm just waiting for an NFT marketplace to launch natively for Juno. Right? Gelato, raccoons. There was a ton of them. They all found success in their own little ways elsewhere. So yeah, that's BS. It's total BS. It's total BS to try to express that. I would like to see some data. There's data there. Go look. For people that say that they're so involved and know better, it's funny how you guys conveniently forget the past that we had, right? If you're investing in a company with a CEO with decision making and ability to spend your funds, wouldn't you want to more detail? But yeah, you would. You would. You would. Absolutely would. So that's why I'm doing it. Absolutely. Totally agree with that. Thank you, Cope. Appreciate it. Let's go on to the next one here. Sorry. Oh, they gotta go upwards, not down. Chicken Taco says, I believe that Juno, is this a response back? And this might be a response back. I believe that Juno is, I might be reading this kind of out of order because of the way it stacks. Is this? Yeah, I think it is. I think it's all stacked. Where is this going from? Anyway, we'll just go from down up. I believe that Juno is needed of drastic change, and of course, it is to rise. I believe that Juno is need. I'm just reading verbatim. Maybe I should change it because I don't think that makes sense. I believe that Juno is in need of drastic change. Probably, of course, it is to rise anywhere close. I'm sorry, chicken tacos. I don't know if that makes sense. We need a change. We need apps. We need developers. How much liquidity was wasted on failed projects? People in the real world get paid after the work is done. Why in crypto different? Why do we fund people that sometimes don't deliver? Most sane people would agree it's ridiculous to do things backwards. We need to run Geno like a business, not a social experiment. I agree. At least some aspects of it should be ran like a business. Investors deserve more protection. We need a man to bring back a use case for Juno. I believe CryptoTank is indeed that man who I believe I am too, but I appreciate that. Who will bring balance back to Juno. Thank you. Dead Dog says, looking at the state of Juno at this moment inclines me to think, why the hell not pursue this opportunity? I vote yes. Thank you. Thank you. I'm going to even upvote Cope Boys things because I believe everybody's comments should be seen. This person that has no name says, we'll vote yes. Still got some questions about how you attract liquidity back to the chain, as without pairing with stables or another deep liquidity coin, it all ends extracting and treating liquidity providers who bear the highest risk in the chain as second tier citizens versus devs and grant winners. Yeah, I agree. Excuse me. And resources to extract. There are some credible loss there that's only held up by believers with deep conviction at this point, at the verge of disappearing. Happy so far with the clawing back of wind, lingering funds, and other actions of the ops department and public budget by Cristiano. I thought he did a great job. I'm telling you. Again, I think he was a huge asset. I would actually like to have Cope Boy and Cristiano, if they are willing to stay under leadership. Um, you know, I honestly would really love to still have them as advisors and on some kind of structure going forward, as I think that they're really good at what they do. As one of the good things done by the charter and specifically by the ops department that were long needed. Would like to see him around. Yeah, I would love to see him and both of them like around more. Like I said, there's a lot of changes, mostly about people don't wanting to have bosses over them. Yep, it's kind of weird, right? Like everybody says that they want fairness, but they don't want to have anybody over them. Um, they want accountability, but no bosses over them. Kind of weird how you can say that. The long meetings or respond to anyone just doing what they have done for years, but I guess you'll figure it out. Yeah, yeah. It's kind of hard. It just kind of has to actually get done, and you figure it out. A little bit of trust there, but hey, you kind of got to risk a little bit to get things done. Interested to hear more about how you work with others and what about validator situation that hampers the block and drastic change, as seen in adapt prop by block creators? Yeah, that also will actually get addressed as well. But first things first, right? We actually have to see if we can get to where we're going, so that we have to decide if or not if this is worthwhile for us to keep going. Step up by getting paid salary no matter the results. I don't understand. I think I'm reading this backwards here. Yeah, I think I am reading this. But yeah, this is all fuck. I hate how Commonwealth does this. Um, okay, I think actually let's go here because I think this all started from Cope Boy's original post back here. Basically, this is going against the elections, potentially new 15 members of the Juno Council, 5 for each department that are about to start. Operations department nominations, development department nominations, communication department nominations. I think it's just to go right here. I think it's kind of jumping the gun, like I said in our meetings before, asking for nominations before even asking the community if they want to keep going with the charter in the way that it is. So yeah, I don't think that you can can put that one before even asking if the community wants to keep going down this route. Either one or the other, no. And yes, it kind of is. It kind of is. That's why I'm actually doing this. It's kind of like my way of saying, do you guys as a community want to restructure this? Or do you guys just want to keep going on? Because if this doesn't pass, then they have to put up, and we have to keep going with what we got. What's your plan about this tank? It's exactly what I just said. Shouldn't your proposal include transition plan? It kind of does already. For the cancellation of the charter, it's kind of one and the same. The council and departments and subdials, and transfer all the millions of Juno that are there. Yes, it will. Again, like I said, it would assume control of that and then put it down into the advisory board, or if you want to keep calling it a council, it would just go ahead and put it back down there, and then it would be managed by the leader and the community, and replace those delegates that were in the subdials that no longer want to be part of those subdials with the future structure. So yeah, all of that's kind of like, just assume that you guys got that, but I guess not, because you guys want to get detailed and try to hang people with details. But I just kind of assumed that you guys understood that. What does this mean? Assume complete control. Exactly what I just said. Why can't you just ask for funding for your ideas? Because your guys' the current governance structure, the current structure of the charter, I'm not confident in. That's why. I thought it was pretty self-explanatory when I said I was not confident of it, and that's why I'm building something without asking guys for funds, because I think it's the way that it's in right now. It's not efficient. We couldn't even get our decks going that we all agreed that we needed, right? Native community decks and stuff like that, and it still hasn't happened. Without dismantling or discrediting. I'm not discrediting. That's another thing too. I don't know why people keep saying this, discrediting everything else. I don't know why you guys are trying to paint that picture. Like, stop it. Just stop doing that stuff. It's totally false. I never ever said that I was discrediting any of the good works that I thought there was many good works that the charter did, right? And stay accountable to the current structures. I told you guys in my original post that I will fulfill my fiduciary duties in the position that I'm in, regardless. What? I don't understand. But and stay accountable to the current structures put in place to defend the community from grifters. Um, Again, I'm doing just that the best way that I possibly can. So I'm doing what I know, uh, and what I feel is best. And so that's what I'm doing. Again, I'm sorry that you guys feel that way, but again, it's just your feelings. It's not the actual truth of the matter, right? So I agree the charter wasn't perfect, but it has reduced a big accountable spends that were happening before it was its intent. Yeah, yeah, I agree. It definitely slowed down a lot of spends. It definitely slowed that down. It slowed many things down, but I definitely agree. It definitely reduced a lot of unaccountable spends that were not proactively shared before it was happening to the community. Again, like I've said many times during my position in and currently in the operations department, that would always remain intact with me. I'm committed to being proactively transparent and forthcoming with development that's happening on chain or for the chain, right? So again, I don't understand like what it is. That's still a commitment of mine. As it's stated in the process, we're becoming streamlined. Check, for example, the GitHub. I know all this stuff that always had public meetings and shared. Yeah, I know. I've been there. I've been part of those things, so I get it. More market capitalization vanished without the charter than with it. Sure, of course, it's real easy, to say those things. And again, I was part of that charter, so like, I love it. Then, of course, it's not enough. Of course not. It's never enough. Nothing's ever enough for everybody. To have new initiatives that drive investors and users to the chain, we may need more incentives. Yep, I agree with that, and that's why elected delegates were doing RFPs and bounties. That's where I don't agree. I don't think that's the most efficient way to do things. It takes time to create an organization, especially if you want to be fair, transparent, and sovereign. I do agree. I do think it takes time, but I definitely don't want to keep going down the current route that we have, because I don't think that it's going to actually be worth much by the time we get to a place where people who share the same uh, max thought process of this being the only way to go about doing things. I just don't think at the end of that route, when we finally get there, which I don't think, again, like you said, it's never going to be enough. I don't think it's going to be worth it. So I think that there needs to be a fine line somewhere in the middle between the charter and regular businesses that have CEOs and people above, even the board, right? That they report to get things done. I think there should be a fine line, and some of the great things within the charter should still be implemented within this new get shit done structure that I'm proposing right now. So again, uh, yeah, like that's where I'm coming with it. I think people really jumped the gun and got scared with things, and they want to paint a broad stroke picture of like dissolving everything. I'm not saying that I want to dissolve all the great things from the charter. I actually just want to uh, restructure it in a way that it becomes more efficient and streamlined and not bogged down. Because as we're seeing right now, like nothing's yeah, we've stopped things from happening, but nothing's gotten done really. So like we can soapbox stand on that point all day long, but at the end of the day, we're not attracting any further. Like, we're not attracting anybody to come nibble on our RFP hooks. We're not. We just absolutely have not. We've got one DApp developer thing happening, and like that's great and all that stuff, but is that worth it? I mean, you look at the percent that's going down every single day versus the activity that's on the chain that we're losing every single month. I just don't think less is more. I think less is more. Yeah, like Chris is saying right here, I really do think less is more, and I think we can still accomplish these same goals that we have, right, with less, right, with less things bogging down the throughput. Maybe with new members, after elections, we can improve processes and find more productive delegates. Maybe again, you again are structuring a lot on maybes. Maybe people want to do RFPs. Maybe people want to step up. We barely found people in the first go to step up as delegates that weren't on the same entities, right? Just for example, like it was really hard to find, and people scrutinized a lot of other people for conflict of interest and this and that. It was really hard just to find the first iteration of delegates, or first, I'm sorry, not iteration, first contribution of delegates to step up. Maybe that's a big maybe that I don't want to do. New collaborators recently started working on Juno after proposing RFPs that will produce weekly and or bi-weekly reports. Great. I'm assuming that you're talking about the RFP for DApp development. Still haven't seen any though. And no other chain stickers can check any of his money being spent, and that still would be the same here. It would still be here. The same demands and the same ethos of transparent, proactive transparency and like being forthcoming with spends needs to still be in place. I'm not saying that I don't understand why you guys are painting this picture where you guys think that just because there's an elected leader that person won't have to show reports, be accountable. You still have to do all that stuff. I just don't understand. Ambito, thank you, Ambito. I appreciate that. Um, he goes on to saying, I would like to see a plan for sustainability wouldn't everybody for the Juno network at some number estimates, which again I don't think it's fair. Not only with your salary. Again, I think I'm doing the best that I can with what I have. And so again, I purposely left it kind of open because I know what you guys are doing. You guys want to have as much detail or rope as you possibly can so that if one thing goes wrong, you can say, look, that wasn't it. Maybe not, but I'm just assuming that that's what it is. I've played this game uh, many times before with being in business plans and being in business deals and being an investor into things myself, right? Like it's a way to hold people a lot more accountable, which I'm totally for. But at the same time, you don't want to, as the person bidding for the process, give too much rope. So again, it's kind of like a fine line. I'm not saying that you're wrong for saying that, but again, I know you want to see numbers and estimates, but like in my response, I would say be fair with that request, right? I think I'm being pretty fair right now as it is. How do you know an NFT market will help Juno? Again, nobody knows. I will say the way that I'm structuring the DApp, which it's a DApp, right? The NFT marketplace will have a huge benefit in comparison to just minting your tokens on any other platform. Like again, you could do many things when you're in control of the DApp, right? Like maybe I have a feature where 1% of all of the transaction goes back to the community pool to increase the community pool. Maybe a portion of that percent as well from the fees that are captured on the NFT platform go to being divvied up and diversifying into asset diversification program for the network, right? And that is controlled again by the community and by the council, not the supreme leader. It's not a benefit for that person, but maybe selfless people need to create these things that go back to the network when people choose to interact with it. And for that reason, yeah, we need an NFT marketplace that's going to facilitate those kind of functions for the hopeful activity for people that use or create NFTs on the Juno network. It's cheap. There's already DAO for any NFT creator, to launch their things, for that to happen. And then there's benefits for the people that, are maybe holding Juno or even validators. Validators can make NFTs to, to do things with, which would help them long term with their validation of Juno, right? They can easily create NFTs that might give their delegators a benefit or a discount or a break or whatever it is. But then it would go back. Maybe there's a burn function as well within the NFT DApp or platform that's also built in. That's creating a value scarcity narrative for the Juno token. So there's many reasons, right? There's many reasons why we actually need an NFT platform. And then, like we've seen in the past before, throughout the Cosmos ecosystem, NFT platforms have generated the strongest communities. We're seeing NFTs get airdropped now. We're seeing NFTs communities and creators either use their NFTs as the fungible token and or they create tokens to be whatever value case they have to be another representative of what's happening and to reward their holders as well. And so if we had an NFT platform with all of these things in mind, right, to interconnect with, which by the way, if you guys don't know, Juno still has a mint token feature where you can easily mint tokens or create a token and mint it and pair it with what you're doing with your NFTs if we had an NFT platform. And then again, if we had a DEX for once or a simple swap, you could pair it in pools, right? Look at GMC's, like I'm such a big fan of them. That recently happened for Backbone Labs and they're happening all over the place as well. They were a crazy great idea of how NFTs can create value and activity for a chain. And that's what we're trying to look for, right? When I say value, I'm talking about just activity on the chain. So, yeah, while I can't guarantee any of that, that's where my mindset is going, right? That's where my mindset's going with that stuff. So, anybody that's like NFT marketplace, what else is going to produce value so easily? You tell me. I'm going for the low hanging fruits first. Right? Every ecosystem should have these things. Yeah, we should have other applications, cool applications that are probably doing deep-penny stuff and all this stuff, but we shouldn't not have the basic fundamental things that are in every good ecosystem, right? We're a permissionless smart contract chain. We should have an NFT platform of our own. We should have that only uses the Juno token, right? Much like ETH, right? That only uses the Juno token, right? Not, oh, you can mint in other things, but like, so what if like everybody? So you could use Stargaze's. Don't get me wrong. I love Stargaze too. You can use Stargaze's outpost, or what if you had an outpost, or maybe use DAO. Maybe use DAO. What good does that do for the Juno token? Nothing. All that's going to happen is the same thing before. Is they're going to dump that token, right, and then do a different token that they don't have. That you need. Ah, gosh, it's so like I don't know. Sometimes I get so. How are people so blinded by things? Tell me more, it says. Discord, DM group, need to collab on this. We are on the same page. Yeah, I'm glad. Yeah, I hope so, man. It makes sense to me. I don't see how it doesn't make sense to other. Chris says you need goods and services that would push the usage of DEXs and payments. Yeah, you can't just say, oh, we have a governance structure. That's our value. What if you have nothing to govern? What you're governing you're governing to death a chain to zero. And it's not my opinion. Let me share something with you guys right now. It's literally not my opinion. It's the opinion of the chart. Okay? You guys understand that? It's not my opinion. And I'm not trying to come at you guys. Let me share something with you right now. It's the opinion of the chart. This is the monthly chart for Juno. Guess what? It's something that you guys don't want to actually like admit to. You see this section right here? This is while we actually had a centralized appointed leaders. Yes, they were reckless in spending stuff, right? I'm not saying that's what I'm going to do. I'm not definitely not doing that. But like, do you guys understand that when we had centralized leaders, regardless if they made the right decisions or not, this is when the token went up like that? You do understand when everybody else left and we were doing what we're doing right now? This is what the token looks like right now. This is not my opinion. I'm just looking at the opinion of the chart. Let's actually just keep zooming it out. Keep zooming it out. And just, you know what this was? This was when Reese was under the control. Reese had a lot of stuff, right? You know what happened after? This. This. I'm not joking either. 6 months. This is December. This is the beginning. This is not my opinion. So good for you guys that you guys want. I want fairness. I do. I want fairness. I want accountability. I want transparency. This is what the chart has produced so far for us. I'm part of the charter. I'm part of this. I played ball. I'm not saying that, it's not my fault. I'm part of this. So yeah, and I guess a way, like it was part of my fault too, right? But this is it. 6 months. The charter had 6 months. That's what happened. That's what happened. I'm not coming at my delegates, my fellow peers. I'm not. Let's just be real. Let's call a spade a spade. This shit's not working. This shit's not working. Right? Let's just call a spade a spade. It is what it is, man. I gotta go back here again. I'm sorry. This is a rant, right? But this is just a live response to criticisms, questions, and concerns that's been happening. I'm sorry we're sticking on because, unfortunately, fortunately, but fortunately, because I think even criticisms has its place to learn from, right? This is taking so long for one comment, but I'd like to see a sustainable Juno network plan like this. I've already put out my plan. NFT, how would it help? For example, since you're an experienced, profitable business owner, I just explained it to you guys. Like all I'm looking for is how do we create activity? Can't we see the projected revenues, expenses about your proposal? No, because you that's just you. I don't know, right? Until it's out there, I don't know, right? As a bare minimum, and maybe make an unvested part of your compensation dependent on the results. I think like giving not sorry, giving half of my request for a salary is doing just that. It ensures a vested interest that I actually want to see activity happening on the chain. Because if I don't, what I'm requesting is going to be much more. How do I know that? I just showed you guys on the charts, right? That other half of 7,500 might be like not even half of that. It might be much less than that if it doesn't work, right? So I think I'm being very, very fair. Hell, I'm even vesting that for double the amount time. I'm proposing to vest that for double the amount time of 6 months for a full year. I'm risking a lot. In one full year, let's be honest, in one full year, let me go back to here. You know how much it's dumped in 6 months? Let me tell you, right? From the top of 6 months, I'm not even joking here. This is December 2023. The price was 82 cents to where we are right now. The price has declined another 82%, over 82%. I am risking a lot more than anybody else that would want to take on this position or role. And I'm trying to be, I don't know how many times I got to say it. I'm trying to be as genuine and transparent and forthcoming as I possibly can. You guys want to act like I'm the grifter or I'm attacking or discrediting anybody. I'm not. I'm not. Maybe you've heard it. Sure, I've heard it too. I've heard these things too. I'll give you that. I've heard that, right? But let's just go back to this, right? If you can't respond to all of them, and then you get threatened with stuff like that too. How can a dictator like you repeat in your recent YouTube videos? And I will admit, maybe my choice of words should have been better because I'm not looking for a dictator role. Like I've said, it was just like it was a funny thing that somebody said. I kind of latched onto it and I got upset and I said it. Like you repeat in your recent videos, have aligned incentives with the community. Again, if you read the actual proposal and you actually, oops, read things, like you would know that that's not truly, what I'm asking here. It's just what you guys want to latch onto. Investing an additional 3 is not enough in your opinion. I don't know what is enough for you guys then. What is enough? Work for free? You guys just want people to work for free? We should all just work for free. That's going to create value, right? Free workers. That's worth it for anybody. I don't agree with you on that one. They have already invested money. So have I. Time and money. You know how much money I've wasted or lost dealing with this bullshit, to be very honest with you? I shit more money than I've ever made working on this charter so far. Like, or they're holding Juno right now. I'm gonna be very honest with you. And that's not me trying to boast myself up. Everybody's done that. I've made more money in my sleep. Everybody's done that. So yeah, you're asking everybody else to keep doing the same and lose value yourself. They've already invested money. Yeah, I want to remind you guys of the same. They've already invested into this charter and stuff like that. And I've just shown you what it's produced. How can I compare? I just showed you guys. And I've also just shown you guys two really good explanations of how it compares to when you actually have elected people in power that actually can make things happen. Again, showing you guys when Core One and Core Two initially brought the chain up to with all the bad decisions. I'm not like glorifying them, but it was in a centralized position of power, making decisions and stuff like that. That's when the token went up to $45. When Juno went back recently, like a year ago, before Reese left, it went back up to the lows of where it's at right now, back to 80 cents. That was when we had somebody that was in a more authoritative position. I'm giving you two examples of right now of how value was captured. You know, sure, things needed to be uh, iterated on, like as you guys like to always remind me, things need to be developed more. But I think there's a fine line between the charter and an elected official that could actually bring a lot of synergies if you guys would stop just being maxis on when it comes to governance. Decentralization is good until it's not. Yeah. Chris says, let me see here. Skrillex says, me and the team would love would love to work hard and ship so much valuable stuff for Juno, but impossible if working for free. Yeah, impossible. Chris says, which is fine. I've made more money than I've lost, but still, Juno has lost so many people and money. Exactly. And so I would kind of just like reflect it back to you guys. Why should the community and the validators keep going with what we're doing right now? I'm part of the charter, so I'm going to say we, right? Why should we keep going down the route with what the charter is doing right now? I don't feel confident. I think a lot of other people don't as well, unless some things are changed. I'm not saying do away with it, right? I'm saying restructure it. And then of course, but like I was saying, they want to know how much Juno I have staked. Actually, how much Juno do I have staked? Of course, everybody needs to know how much you have on the line. If you go to my Juno delegations wallet for my Juno for my delegate wallet, you can see that I just have what they gave me, and I didn't sell any of it. Um, but within the things that I've done in the past with my NFT projects and myself, I think I have a combined like 10,000 Juno or something like that, right? I took a lot of profits. I held on to it. I'm at a loss right now from when I reinvested back into it. But I think I have somewhere about like I have several wallets, so it's kind of hard for you to ask that are kind of like split up in many different other things. But yeah, like I've got stuff, just like anybody else that's up for that's at risk. Are you trying to say I have a conflict of interest because I'm also a holder? Like, I would say that I have more incentive for this to work than anything else, right? So again, And then you end this with the threat. If you can't respond to all of these questions by this week, either I'll make a counter proposal, which I encourage you to do. Make a counter proposal. Make your bid. If you guys don't like it, put it up, just like I just did. Right? Juno is a permissionless chain that is governed by the people. If you have a sound argument, put it up. Get everybody on your side. Get everybody else on your side. Do it. Propose it yourself and or leave Juno, like you're saying. This I think is with all the coloring of my character, I think is funny when people do this. If you can't respond to all the questions by this week, either I'll make a counter proposal or I'll leave and try to pursue the values that were put into the charter elsewhere. I think it's funny. I think it's sad, but also funny. Like, really? Like, whose values are at question now? I'm fighting for what I think is right and what's beneficial. What I just heard there was like, if it's not my way, I'll leave. Well, I can't help that. Like, I'm sorry that it's not ringing your bell. Maybe you should. I don't know. Abito says, I think it'd be kind of fun to lean into the dictator title. Maybe, right? Juno has always been labeled a commie chain. Would be entertaining to see someone embrace his Soviet leadership aesthetic. That would actually be kind of funny. Um, would probably be popular with American youth. They seem to be into that kind of thing these days. Yeah, unfortunately, that's true, right? Anyway, guys, you can see here before the charter elections are a proposal. The charter has somebody else responded to this. The charter has the chance of doing a referendum, an obligation per charter rules section, blah blah blah. At the end of the charter, limited trial period of 6 months to see if the community approves the idea to continue with or not. If a constitution is not ratified by the end of that trial, the council and its general working group or an authorized subsidiary or replacement entity, which is what I'm proposing for, may substitute recommendations to the Commonwealth to extend, modify, or cancel this charter in part or in full. I'm literally playing by the rules set forth. So, like, I don't understand what the fucking deal is. I don't understand if everything that you guys said to be true was true in your guys' belief. Why are you guys bitching and moaning? I'm literally playing by the rules. I'm literally playing by the rules. This is what I've done right here. It's in the charter. Would simplify things to have voting right now instead of waiting for more weeks, they go on to say. Would it make sense to call elections before the community? I think so too. Before the community decides what it wants first. And this is kind of what I'm asking right now. What do you guys want, community? You guys want to keep going down this route? Or do you guys want to like modify things and try to make things a little bit more efficient? Remembering the ultimate authority over the charter is general governance. Exactly. If the community votes to end the charter, there is no transition period. Exactly. As the charter trial period is considered finished and inactive at the moment. You still do have the DAOs, as Cope Boy goes on to saying the treasuries. Again, what would happen if I was elected is we would actually just put up proposals to bring that all back. And then if the people that are on those sub DAOs don't comply, we'll see the true cutters shine, right? That's what happens. So, but I don't know. I can't put forth all this stuff until we find out. Um, awesome job finding those errors. I do want to say, yeah, recently Copeboy did find some things in the sub DAOs, but I think actually not Cristiano, Demi actually did reply in Discord as well. That's neither here nor there. Again, I think Copeboy does great work as a dev. I think a lot of these guys do really great work, just not so much as like leaders in certain things. And that's not a dig at them. That's not a dig. We all have our strengths, right? That's not a dig. Anyway, Dimi, who is part of the operation, is is a blockchain dev. The charter, since its inception, has made significant progress, and I agree with this. Being transparent, bringing transparency and accountability to the Juno management. I appreciate what the charter has achieved so far. So do I. But indeed, not enough. Just like Copeboy said, and I agree with all of these things. We have favored decentralization and bureaucracy over efficiency in a network that requires quick actions and groundbreaking decisions. Some highlights of the charter inefficiencies: 6 months of countless meetings with sole purpose of organizing the charter itself without real actions that could directly affect the network. Now that the charter is stable, half of the members will leave in favor of new elections. Again, I was pointing out earlier. This will be a never-ending process if we continue in this manner. RFPs, request of proposals, that took months just to accept or deny. Again, not efficient. not realistic, especially when you're asking people to fulfill those roles. Like no dev team is going to get slowed down or questioned or even cross their fingers in hopes that they actually get paid. Too many layers of people. I agree. We have delegates working for almost nothing, only to hire someone else to do the job for their department, which is great for conflict of interest, but detrimental to efficiency. Inability to conduct business with others. A real example: I started a private conversation with Skip team to implement some recent features, but my actions were immediately blocked because we can't have private conversations and everything should be public. Again, kind of fucking ridiculous when you're thinking about running things. We created a public channel, but the conversation died there because no business, again, no person filling these RFPs. Like, you can't expect them to want to run their entire business because we want to be this way, right? They don't have to accept they don't have to accept the same rules that we govern ourselves by. They should be able to work with us though, but we shouldn't ask other companies to completely manipulate their structure to fulfill our needs. We're not in that position. I really appreciate the work done, he goes on to say, by all the charter contributors as well as myself. I want to reiterate that. I really do appreciate all of it. Um, but the problems stated above are real and we need to address them. I don't think having a dictator is ideal. Neither do I. Again, dictator, elected leader is the word I'm looking for. Even though I know Tank would be a great leader, I appreciate that. I would much prefer an implementation of a leader role within the boundaries of the charter. Again, kind of, we're on the same, Demi and I are on the same page of like, I want to be the elected leader above what we currently have and cherry pick the cool things that are great about the departments or these advisory boards or charter, if you want to keep calling it that. But that's how I'm looking at it. I kind of already shared it with you guys. And I think he's sharing this as well here. Allow delegates to carry out the work directly. Every department should have real objectives that can be measured. Delegates should work to achieve this. Implement a leader role so that the majority of decisions can be made quickly. This person should work with the various departments as the main point of reference and coordinator. Simplify the rules. We need balance between decentralization, accountability, and efficiency. We can't lean too far to one side. This is literally what I'm trying to accomplish with this elective leader role. That's literally what I want to accomplish right there. Reese, what's up, Reese? Dictator time, he says. Uh, airdrop a bunch of Juno to Juno holders, universal basic Junos. Yeah. Tank man, bad. Everyone knows only the charter can save Juno. Yeah, Tank man, bad. Bad man. I'm a bad man. Trillions in value are to come from it. Yeah. Juno 2.0 and Juno Classic, a junk joke. Yeah, junk. I thought this laugh. That would be a really good fucking. Yeah, that'd be a really good token. That'd be a good token name. Like, throw shade, right? And Beto says cabbage and potato airdrop to all loyal Juno holders. Bad validators do not get jailed; they just get sent to. So funny, gulag. Yeah, just get sent to gulag. Oh my god. Again, we can go on and keep reading. Cope Boy's responses. Skip didn't want to chat in publicly. Why? Aren't they developing FOSS? It's not that they're being. Again, I kind of things I already said. Probably because they didn't want. They don't. Companies should not have to adopt our mindset to be able to work with us. You're right. It's unrealistic. Um, Skip Reese, actually, we have Reese right here. And to be fair, I'm sorry, Copoy, I'm not reading this just because this is a bunch of just back and forth, and I don't want to just keep going on about your point of view, which I guess should be fair, actually. But you guys could read this. You guys could read this on your own. I'm highlighting it right here. This is just going kind of back and forth. Yeah, rules should be simplified. Do we have accountability? So it all comes down to sustainable or intrinsic utility of the project. If it has none or any governance structure will fail. But if it has some, the right structure must be defined around the use case. I suggest we come together to define what is Juno. Yeah, and we still haven't, like, again, going reading your own words. We still haven't even found out what is Juno. Are you fucking serious? We don't even, like, you guys can't even. I could go to every current department delegate and ask them, and I bet you they all have different responses of what is Juno. It's insane. It's insane. It's confusing at best is the right word. Right now, there's too much confusion. Yeah, and that's what we have. And we're asking people to keep going with too much confusion. Rightfully have different ideas, end up going different directions, either waste of time or leaving the chain. And I agree with this. We need to be able to clearly communicate what we are here to do, and if we want to attract other like-minded people. I agree. I totally agree with that. Anyway, Reese goes here to says Skip works in the open source, yes, but also uses BLS license in some of their products, kind of like what I assumed and what I thought. So if they give Juno a public price, then everyone else also wants the same price. You value products based on the value they bring to this purchaser. So yeah, no one wants to have public price discussions. Exactly, right? Like you can't, it's unrealistic, guys. Eric says, I don't know if this is Eric from, I don't know what Eric this is. Love the idea behind the charter, but Juno is far from a luxury position to do whatever it wants. As a builder in this space, my position is that there are surplus of chains on which to build dApps, and Juno doesn't have a whole lot to offer comparatively. Yeah, again, I agree with that. That's just about the scariest position in which it could be. Drastic times call for drastic measures at this point. Any slow internal bickering about how to best handle things, which checks and balances needs to be viewed, and bureaucratic stagnation in a bankrupt business that quite literally can't afford it. The most lean and efficient way to build is the with a monarch. Give, take control. Nobody's some people just get it. Appreciate that, Eric. Mad Cat says it's a godsend to see somebody reputable and community driven who wants to step up to the plate, try to save Juno. Um, Sometimes I wonder, man, like if it's worth it, but I think it is, and I think the effort is worth it. Because let's face it, it's been on the verge of irrelevance for some time now. Death is intimate. Any sincere last measure should be highly considered. Tank has been talking on Juno for a long time now. He knows the issues it faces and seems genuine about wanting to fix it. I appreciate. Thank you very much. Um, Set up by getting paid full salary, no matter the results. Yeah, I think people should get paid, bro. I think you should get paid. I think people who do work and who contribute and put their reputation and themselves on the line should fucking get paid. Yes, I think so. Uh, Reese says, yeah, would be an entire dev course to onboard. Got some good stuff. Yeah, yeah, yep. That would be great. Where do you guys organize? I don't understand. What do you, are you asking Reese? I think you're asking Reese. Uh, an unnamed person says, we'll vote yes. Still got some questions about how you'll attract liquidity back to the chain. I think this is where we left off with stables. There's many different ways that you traditionally actually can bring back liquidity to a chain. Like if you actually had, for like a new chain, when you first drop and stuff like that, like market making is definitely one way to actually ensure liquidity or to actually like, I don't want to say artificially, but definitely artificially and or in a healthy manner if you do it right. Market making could be a good practice on creating a demand for a token. Unfortunately, I don't know if we're in that position. Matter of fact, we're probably not because we don't have our enough liquidity on enough exchanges and we're not spread out amongst enough exchanges to actually even seek out a market maker, even if we actually deployed our own dex or swap. Like it'd be a really hard go. I wonder sometimes if there's tools to automate market making using things like I'm trying to think of like calc finance and stuff like that, but I don't even know. Like, right? Maybe you can do it without getting into a maybe you can automate it or write scripts or something like that, and you can like if you yeah, I don't know. Maybe you can kind of go back and forth. That's one way traditionally people do liquidity or try to bring liquidity. The other way is create use cases, right? Like actually, like I was saying with the NFT platform, look internally to your community to bring value use cases, right? Like I think GMC again, I used them over and over because I thought that was a huge cool thing that they did. But like all it really takes is for one or two really cool creator or creators to step up to the plate and say, you know what, we got all these tools. Let's do something cool. Maybe I have this infrastructure. Let's see if the people want to, I'll pitch my idea. They buy my NFT. There's a use case behind it. Maybe I can pair it with the token build a token on Juno with the Juno tools that we have, pair it with whatever rewards I gave with the Juno funds that we use from the mint. Like there's countless possibilities, but it's neither here nor I don't know, but I do know NFTs is the easiest way to find value throughout. And I think Juno has a lot of really cool possibilities. It just takes some really creative people to do that. Um, so that would be like my first two. Like I'm just going for bare bone structure first, right? First 3 months, first 2 to 3 months, like that would be my biggest focus would be to put somebody back in the position to maintain the chain. right? Make sure it's up to date, it's running, it's smooth. If it gets attacked, like we have people that can be responsive. That's first and foremost. The second thing would be to introduce an NFT platform, primarily the one I'm working on because that's the only one I know of that's right now being. I think there's other people that are also working on NFT platforms as well. But like the functions that my NFT platform will facilitate make it a little bit more unique, in my opinion. I'll have more about that in the future, but right now I'm dealing with this. So I want to bring an NFT platform. I want to get the work going. Hopefully, if they're still willing to work with us, and when it comes to Kintsugi or anybody that's willing to actually, do the work for a work index, because we should have a platform to where if people want to create an NFT project or mint a token, maybe it's a meme token place and stuff like that, right? You just mint meme tokens, and like maybe you put up your own liquidity. Like, here's another thing. Here's another thing too, right? Like, watch this. Like the possibilities are endless. I'm gonna use other chains as examples. That Juno just ironically and kind of not, it's not funny, shat on in the past. Astrovolt or AXV, right? If you guys don't know Scott from the podcast, he's highly critical of the Juno network. Um, and as a lot of people should be. But Scott, who is a well off individual, I assume, it seems like, created his own meme token or power bottom or PBB. Uh, and he funded that himself. Um, he did that because he was able to actually launch it on that platform and pair it with the AXV token. Like there's a lot of really cool things that individuals could do if they had the tools to do so. And so yeah, like I'm just saying, anybody that says those kind of things, like first and foremost, I'm committed to doing the first three things, right? Four things really. Put somebody back in that position for blockchain maintenance, in some kind of capacity, right? Whether it's contracted or direct, right? We need to have a commitment to make sure that that happens. Because right now we don't even have that. Right now we're just hoping and praying to God that the people that have been nice enough to us, right, so far, keep being nice to us. People like Reese, people like Dimmy, people like Jack, people like Jake. Like, honest to God, the same people that you guys all shit on, you guys are like just crossing your fingers that if we get attacked by people like that are radicals, like fucking notional and stuff like that, are just attacking chains, that those people step up to the plate and fix us. Right. So first and foremost, we need to have somebody that's in that role. Second, I want to launch that NFT platform within 2 to 3 months. Third, I want to have a swap of some sort of swap. It could be simple or complex. It doesn't matter. And then for smoothies like myself, yeah. And then yeah, then let's just keep it with that four, right? And then we can go on from there. But I think we need to have bones when it comes to dApps, right? And then again, the other one I wanted to talk about, which is kind of happening right now, and which would be nurtured further if the people actually want to stay. Which is kind of funny that people are like pointing this out, but I want to build a micro grants program into where we can actually incentivize and actually attract back previous and future suitors when it comes to smart contract developers, right? Like I've been talking with a couple already that used to be in the space that would bring stuff back if they actually got some sort of support, big or small. um, but they're not interested in what is happening right now with the RFP, right? And the dApp support role that the development department has put forth. They're just not, like, be honest. Nobody wants to, like we saw with Skip. Nobody wants to have to fucking bend the knee all the way and submit to the will exactly the way we want it to be in order for us to like demand their dApps. It's just not. It's unrealistic. Um, so yeah, but like and at the same time, I do want to say I wouldn't do away with that. I wouldn't do away with the RFP that they have and the commitments that they do have. If you guys read the salary, like I want to stay with those commitments that we currently do have and nurture those things because I think they are good. I think there's been some good things from the charter. I wouldn't do away with those kind of things. I just think that there's better ways to go about accomplishing certain things. I also think I do want to point out the same people that are saying like all of this is nonsense and the charter already has that, like again, seems to be coming from the people that are heavily involved in the development department, are the same people who are fucking leaving that role and wouldn't even be on that multi-sig, that are no longer going to be contributors officially to the charter. So it's like the pot calling the kettle black or hypocrisy at best. Like I just don't understand it. I just don't understand it. Bree says, yeah, pay for work. What kind of communism. So yeah, man. From the ashes it will rise. Hopefully, right? Hopefully, make it easy to build things. Yes. for smooth brains. Like, yeah. And then also, again, this is down the road when we actually get structures in place. I would like to actually really nourish the education, because that's another way to go back to answer this individual's question, which I thought was a great question. How do you bring back liquidity? Things like I just said prior, and then also educating. Just education is key. Like, there was university type programs that Reese was building, that even the people from Dada used to be building, that never got a lot of attention because we were putting a lot of strain and demand for them to do other things that they couldn't iterate on and highlight and bring forth to the spotlight, because we were demanding such things from people that weren't able to focus on what they're really good at or what they wanted to be focused on, right? Building. That was a lot of it. That literally was a lot of it. So yeah, that's how I would like aim to bring back liquidity to the chain. And when you say liquidity, activity is really the word that we're looking for, right? We're really looking for, how do you bring back activity to the chain, not liquidity, because activity is a safer word, and we'll get into this in just a second too. For liquidity, I should say, or value is a word that you have to watch, because certain people are going to use it to attack you with. Really, what you want to do is bring back activity, because activity doesn't guarantee up and or down price action. It's just activity, right? It just depends on the dApps that are deployed. That's going to be the thing that dictates, more than likely than not, the demand for what's happening on chain, right? So like the NFT platform that I've been working on with my inner circle is going to have features that are going to be beneficial for the chain long term. Yeah, there's a small benefit for the people that are building. There has to be, right? You have to learn how to sustain yourself and deploy things that are sustainable. At the same time, there needs to be a synergy, a balance in between where you're actually deploying, what you're giving back to your community, right? And then you as the person building it. It's not like when you look at businesses, big businesses in your county or township, right? Like, if you look at that, the county or township has taxpayers that pay taxes to their township, right? So that the infrastructure and the adoption or the attraction for big businesses, like here where I live, Williamson County, Tennessee. I'll just go out and dox myself because you guys are going to demand this from me anyway. It's a booming uh community. It's a booming county. We're one of the richest counties in America because we facilitate and go into deals with big businesses like Nissan, like GE, like Vanderbilt, and other things like that, so that we attract their business, their dApps, right? Their business models, their business. And in turn, like we negotiate these deals, right? There's synergy, there's gives and takes. We'll give you the discount on the land so that you guys can deploy your main operating business here or building here. And in turn, right, like it's going to drive people's business here. And what I mean by that is their residential purchases of property, their visiting storefronts, they're going to the movies and other businesses around, right? Like that's how we should be looking at the chain in itself, right? We can't say this is a blanket clean place that has the best governance ever. That's going to bring value. That's not how it works, man. That's not how it works. And then we definitely can't say for you to come here with your business, you need to adhere to every item, like every um I'm lost for words. Every moral encompassing rule that we have as a business or township for you to operate. That's not how it goes. They'll come here if there's a synergy, but they're going to operate their business the way that they operate their business. And you're not going to tell them how to do that. There might be some like rules that you guys all agree upon. There might be some kickbacks and some benefits and stuff like that, but you're not gonna dictate how they run their business, or else they just won't come here. There needs to be a management. There needs to be a fine line between the two entities. That's a tightrope to walk. And right now, this structure doesn't allow us for that. It needs, yeah. Um, so anyway, I'm kind of going down the rabbit hole with a lot of things. I think I covered a lot of it. There was one here that I definitely want to get into, and I'm gonna do my best. Okay. Thank you guys all. There's 257 people from what I see watching the stream. This is not me attacking one individual, but since it is out there, I'm going to respond in turn. Before I read this, this is a post from Little D. And I'm sure a lot of, because I've seen it, a lot of other people that are associates of his company share the same thought processes, unfortunately, because these are some of the people too that I also have worked with in the past and respect their work for what they've done into some form or another. It's unfortunate to see this, but I'm going to respond to it. Give me a second to drink this coffee. Mm, it is. It's Neta time. It's Neta time, I guess, because poor bro, not poor, not, I don't want to say poor. I actually really like poor bro. Um, it's unfortunate that they think so poorly of me after even having worked with me, apparently. Or I should. Hopefully, I'm not covering all of it, but I can only assume that this is all of Neta. Um, it's unfortunate because I thought better of them and have worked with them, and it's an unfortunate thing to see how their true colors are not flying. They say here, which little d is a representative of NetADAO. I'm going to highlight this, and then we'll keep going from here. No with veto, which excuse me, but I thought no with veto was for malicious things. It's that's a low blow in itself to come from somebody that I've worked with before. Immediately go to no with veto. Which is like you trying to punish me. If I put up my Juno, a vid, if you guys don't know, is a punishment for trying to be malicious. And I'm not trying to be malicious whatsoever. I'm just doing exactly what I think I honestly can do in the most honest and constructive way and genuine way as possible. So the first thing that I see is more than anything, I took it as disrespectful and a slap to the face. But that's okay. I got thick skin and it's fine. Everybody has their opinion, right? And he's going to share a lot of his opinions. I read this earlier this morning. So buckle up, right? It gets pretty good. So, first thing, no with veto. The proposal, if you don't like it, a no would simply suffice, right? Um, the proposal converts Juno into a privately run company whose funding revenues come from public investment. That's gaslighting, wrong, and just and all like stop, just stop right there. It does not turn Juno asking to vote an elected leader does not turn the Juno chain into a privately run company whose funds and revenue come from public investment. The community will always have the final say via governance. So the chain will never, unless the community and unless the chain votes to completely do away with governance as it stands right now, it will never become a private entity or privately run company because the community has the final say via governance. And again, like I've said many times in the past, the way that this has been brought forth from its inception, the way everybody got their Juno tokens was from an airdrop. There was no early investments, there was no business deals, there was no money spent purchasing the token. Everybody got it through an airdrop. Whether that was fair or not, everybody got it in their same way. Excuse me. So that is false. That is completely false and gaslighting people. You're fear mongering people to death. Stop doing it. You look stupid as can be. I'm going to use some harsh words because I'm fed up with this shit. And if it hurts your feelings, let's go, right? You started attacking me first. Time to get it back in return. So again, I'm going to read that, which I want you guys to be absolutely clear. The proposal does not convert Juno into a privately run company whose funding/revenue comes from public investment. It does not. It does not. In short, it turns Juno into the definition of a security, and in the absence of appropriate SEC filings and disclosure from Take and a network's validator. No, it doesn't. Again, are you a securities lawyer? Because you sure do throw around legal jargon like you are a lawyer of any capacity, but definitely you do it as if you're a securities lawyer. If you are not, I highly suggest that either you hire one through your DAO or yourself personally in order for yourself not to speak incorrectly and or to promote false information, right? Are you a securities lawyer, my friend? Because the last I checked, you were not. So I would suggest, even though I would say that even for myself, I'm not a securities lawyer, But from what I understand and from what I believe to be true, that's false. I don't think so whatsoever. Matter of fact, I'll go on to saying further, how is this any different than what we just did, which you were totally fine with constructing yourself when the community voted into power peoples into their positions via the council? All this is doing is asking for the people to vote into power to look over that council or that charter. How is this any different? The people still, in turn, have the right to veto or dismantle all of it via governance. How is it any different? You're talking out the side of your mouth just because it's not the way you envisioned it. That's what's happening right here. Stop it. Stop it. Unless you are a securities lawyer and can, without a doubt, show unwavering proof that this is the case, you're spreading lies. So just admit that you're not a securities lawyer or a lawyer in any kind of form. Maybe you went to school, but did you pass the bar? Did you do any of this stuff? No, you did not. Okay? So let's just be real about it. Stop it already, because I'm sick and tired of you attacking people like you have in the past to express yourself. This proposal is effectively asking validators to become co-conspirators in securities fraud. Again, do you know this to be true? How so? Because you literally just asked people prior to vote people into power, right? Per their positions within the charter. You're a hypocrite at best. There's still the same checks and balances in play. I wouldn't be in charge of any funds, right? Some of them would be delegated to me, just like we're doing right now within these multi-sigs and these sub-DAOs. Some of them would be delegated to us because we are the people chosen by governance through an election, right? On chain to facilitate these things. How is this any different, my friend? Please stop your fear mongering. Yeah, someone forced. Yeah, put his name down. That's a really good one. Yeah, someone forced elect, just put his name down. Everybody vote for it. Put him into the, and then it's all their fault. But anyway, guys, I get a tickle from this because, I will admit, I'm not a lawyer. This isn't my specialty. You know, I have other strengths and stuff like that. But stop fear mongering. Stop making idle threats that are at best incorrect. Right? You're gonna sue the whole entire chain for voting? Are you gonna sue every delegate, everybody that has delegated to a validator? You're gonna sue everybody? What are you doing? Fundraising from the public for a privately run controlled company has laws in virtually every jurisdiction in the world. What is it? What are you talking? What is any different from you structuring the charter, right, with its sub-DAOs to what we're doing right now? Fuck, sue the sub-DAO. Or sue the charter and all the sub-DAOs right now that have multi-sig signers on it. Sue them all. That's what you're saying. That's literally what you're saying. You're saying the same fucking thing that you just advocated for more than 6 months, like a year. It's insane. You're fear mongering and speaking out the side of your mouth. What are you, by the way? What do you do professionally, little D? Do you have a job? What do you do? Who are you, for that matter? You're very vocal for somebody that's not doxxed, right? You're very insistent in certain things for somebody that speaks from the back of the room all the time with threats. Anyway, we'll get into that in just a little bit because you questioned my character, so I'm going to start questioning yours and the things that you've been involved with. We might as well, right? eye for an eye. That's how it goes. Um, but in any case, as it's well known, security in the United States is defined by the Howey test, an investment of money in a common enterprise, with the exception of profit, the expectation of profit, excuse me, from the efforts of others. Okay, well, because I know where you're going with this. It's the same thing that you just promoted and were an advocate for and actually ran for, but you got voted down by the community with the charter. Because I know where you're heading for this. So we should just sue everybody on the charter and on these multi-sigs, correct? Because again, nothing's changed with the structure of things. The community would still be in complete control. There would still be checks and balances from other people. For each of these, one is satisfied by Juno existing on a DEX. So we shouldn't have a DEX. So here you go, guys. Here you go. The Neta people, or little d, which again is just representative of the Neta people, shouldn't even be on it. Like, so why are you even advocating that we have a DEX in the first place? Is this why we're never going to have a DEX? So Juno is satisfied by one, having a DEX or existing on a DEX, just being on a platform. One is satisfied, an investment of money, right? That's the guy talking to you right now. First thing he says for each one of these, number one is satisfied by Juno existing on a DEX. Well, fuck me, we might as well just stop everything. Everybody anywhere with the token should not put your token on a fucking DEX or an AMM or anywhere, because this is what this guy believes. It's all a security. It's satisfy that because it's monies, right? It's monies. It could just be a means to transact. You have to go into the definition of monies in each application, right? But there, we'll go on. Which constitutes an investment contract? Number two, Juno is a common enterprise by definition. How is it changing? How is it changing? How would it change? It's still an elected position from the people, by the people, for the people, with term limits and oversight and checks and balances in place. Again, I think you jumped the gun. I think, you know what? I think, in all fairness, I think little D jumped the gun, didn't mind to do any kind of like real digging or asking constructive questions. Literally just got hooked on the dictator funny thing. And that's kind of my fault because I had fun with that and got kind of frustrated and went to town with the whole dictator role thing. But I think he wrote this with the assumption that I'm literally saying, give me everything, give me all encompassing supreme power, no more governance votes, no more say for anything. Give me all the value. Let me make every decision. Let me not work with anybody else, but give it to me. That's the picture I think he's wanting to paint. So in all fairness, if you're mistaken for this, man, a lot of this could have been avoided if you would have just simply asked, yeah, or read a little bit more into things. But I think that's what's happening here. 3, he goes on, Tank has been recorded on Twitter Spaces and Discord calls promising that his campaign is predicted on his ability to essentially number go up happen. And, okay, let me just make this sense. What I've said, again, and you know it's really funny too, because I know that you obviously lurk in spaces with that little incognito thing, showing your real true character, right? Instead of engaging into fruitful talks and stuff like that. Now I know the kind of character you are, because I look at my phone and who's in my spaces at all times, and even watching my shows and stuff like that. So I know you're incognito, and if you're recording it, good to also record things as well. But when I mean that activity, maybe you confused me promising value on number go up by me saying people want number to go up. The only thing they are concerned with is what is going to bring the number go up, right? What activities are we going to do as the charter and or an individual or collective, whatever, to ensure that activity happens and make number go up? That's literally the only thing people care about. And if you are trying to advocate in the opposite, the fuck you should ever run for anything, because actually it would make sense. The Neta DAO And even though you were so cool at first in being the first to ever incorporate through a DAO in the Juno ecosystem or the greater Cosmos ecosystem, an entity that's incorporated offshores and stuff like that, you have not created value whatsoever for the Neta token or your DAO at all. So you should stay far the fuck away from making any decision makings when it comes to actually attracting value or activity to any project that you ever fucking think of. Just stay far the fuck away, please. But it makes sense because you know, this is the stuff you believe in, right? You equate these things, you kind of like mix it all together. Activity, we need to focus on bringing activity back to the chain. We've all agreed. You've even agreed. We need to bring DAppSpy back to the chain. Why? Because it brings value back to the chain by bringing activity back to the chain, right? Without activity on the chain, there's no value to be had. There's nothing. There's just this bullshit that you're promoting all the time, and all your little cronies and stuff like that, and the number go down. It's not just reflective back in the Juno price, but it's also reflected back in your business dealings with your entity that you created with you and your buddies at Neta DAO and the token of Neta. It has done absolute dick shit. Dick shit. That's what it's done. Attack my character. It's coming. Let's just be real. We're going to call a spade a spade. Everything you've done has been dick shit when it comes to anything. How much activity do you have within your DAO? Because that's what we're really asking. When we say number go up and we're talking about value, we're actually talking about activity. How much fucking activity have you and your thought processes and your like your hopes, dreams, I don't know what to call them, outrageous claims and beliefs, how much have that produced? Dick shit. That's what it has. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm a leader that's going to swear. I don't give a fuck. Let's be real. So going on to that, that's what I meant by that. So I think you're kind of conflating the two. Maybe not. Maybe I did say my whole my whole focus is to make number go up. And what I mean that by that though, my whole focus is to make activity happen on the chain. That's my focus. I want to bring back activity to chain. Wasn't that the focus of the charter? Isn't it one and the same? Again, a lot of things that you complain about is the same thing. It's the same thing. Isn't that what was the focus of the charter? To bring back activity to the chain because we wanted to make it a place where people wanted to come build, right? Wasn't that it? Or am I just mistaken? Or did you have another agenda from the get-go? 4, this proposal places all of the authority for the majority of the chain's development and direction no one has. Yeah, yup, it does. It does for a time, for 6 months. For 6 months, just like, mind you, just like you did with the charter, just like we did with the charter. It puts all the authority into a select few hands for a period of 6 months. It puts all the direction, right, in the consolidated few hands that we've had of the charter. And we accomplished some great things. We really did. We didn't make anything happen per se, right? But we stopped the hemorrhaging. As you guys like to point out all the time, your guys' biggest accomplishment or our biggest accomplishments, because I've been here, I've been part of it. I've been voting. I'm a delegate. Our biggest accomplishment is we stopped it from bleeding. We stopped it from bleeding. We didn't do much more than that, right? It was good though. I don't want to put that away. It was really good. That's really good. In all fairness, I'm really proud of that. I'm actually really, really proud of that. But anyway, the point of the charter. Let me highlight this so I can read better. The point of the charter being an execution or implementation layer and reserving decision-making power to change governance was to defeat this fourth prong and thus to defease the claim that Juno is a security. Does this create it's still intact. There's still the people above me or any elected leader, and you're still beholden to governance and the people with checks and balances below you through the council, if you want to call it that, or elected advisors. They're still there. They're still there. So stop. Does this, oops, I clicked off this. Does this create a system that is slower in dictatorship and monarchy? Again, securities fraud? Yes. How? Stop. Are you a securities lawyer, my friend? The fuck you are. So please stop spitting out legal jargon. Like, stop. Are you practicing law without having a fucking without passing the bar? Are you practicing law in public right now? Because that's what you're fucking doing. If you want to be real about stuff, are you practicing law? Are you threatening the chain by practicing law when you actually don't have the capability to do so? Are you doing that right now? Because that's what you keep trying to do. You keep trying to use scare tactics for everybody else. Are you a lawyer in any kind of capacity, or are you a securities lawyer to go even more forward with that? If not, please stop your bullshit or hire one and submit everything through your fucking lawyer. I doubt that NetaDAO has enough funding to do so, or you personally. If that's the case, just stop, man. I'm getting sick and fucking tired, and so is everybody else. I could be wrong. Watch Little D be a fucking lawyer, and I'll be like, really? Well, then you're gonna have to prove it to everybody by undoxing yourselves and throwing that shit out there. Because right now, I think you're doing more damage than good. I really do, by threatening people without cause, without any good reason. Stop that shit. Anyway, let me see where does this create a system monarchy against series? Yes, but does that cost of doing business? But that is the cost of doing business legally. If the secret ingredient of this proposal is crime, like again, trying to paint me as a criminal, you know what, Little D, man, bro, trying to paint me as a criminal, then it's not a serious proposal. I don't think a lot of people see me as trying to commit a crime. I'm trying to literally just streamline the processes and the good things from the charter so that it can be effective. That's literally all I'm doing. I don't want to do away with all the charter or all these other things. I want to streamline it for a period of 6 months. It's not that hard, but I see what kind of person you are, right? I see what kind of person you are. I almost want to say you're almost committing crimes, though, with what you're doing, threatening people and throwing out legal jargon when you're not a lawyer, to my knowledge, or especially a securities lawyer to any kind of degree. So it's almost like practicing law with when you shouldn't be, or without, passing the bar. That's a crime too, right? Anyway, so shit up. Validators or produce that you are a lawyer, and then I'll shut up and recant or take back everything I just said. In all honesty, I definitely would. If he came out and said he was a lawyer, I'd be like, well, never mind. Validators should think carefully, and then here's another threat. Validators should think carefully about whether they want to have an on-chain record of felony conspiracy to defraud the public. The reality of Juno's token circulation is that it is a public enterprise. It can never become a private enterprise. It can never become a private enterprise because the people actually have overwhelming power intact via governance. They can always just kick those motherfuckers out. You could always just take it all back, right? We're in crypto. All of us are criminals, right? According to everything right now, we're all criminals. As far as the merits, this is again, now he's going to go personal attack me here. As far as the merits, in particular, as a leader, I do not see it. Okay. Tank did nothing as a Juno working group member, but used the work of others to make it into his way into a department seat. Really? Really? I can recall, and we can go back. Hopefully, you guys were all recording this stuff. I even went back. I've been involved with as many meetings as possible in the Juno working group. I've got the invitation probably before you fucking did from Rama from the very beginning to be part of this process, right? And I even said, I remember this because I was on a fucking road trip. I was in the middle of Kentucky at a horrible hotel when we had one of the first big meetings as a Juno working group. And I remember when everybody was like, hey, to what capacity could everybody contribute? Right? Because we're all doing this for pro bono. I'm sorry, I'm on a phone call when I'm listening to this shit because I was on my phone because I was doing the best that I can, right? And I remember telling everybody, man, with all my commitments and stuff like that, like I can do what I can do, but this isn't my strong point. So I'll contribute when I can, right? And when it's needed. But right now I'm more of a fly on the wall into setting these things up because I am more of a businessman than I am a governance connoisseur, right? So fuck you for trying to paint a false picture, you dirty little rat. Like now I'm going to get really personal because you're attacking my public persona, which again is a crime. Actually, it's actually a crime to keep attacking one's character, especially when you're preventing you know work or other people. For you to be spitting out shit like that, like that is literally a fucking crime too, right? Like that's a crime for you to keep spitting out false things the way you do. It's called gaslighting, defamation of character, all that other shit. But you keep doing you, and I'll keep tick for tacking with you. Okay. So again, just to make it absolutely clear, I've been involved. Everyone, I didn't sneak my way on the back of other people the entire way. I was involved with as many of those fucking conversations as I possibly could while I was maintaining my own personal life. And I made that absolutely clear. So you can go suck dirt and kick rocks with that shit. And I didn't sneak my way into the department seat. I was up for voting just like everybody else. Just like you, my friend. Just like you. So anybody could have voted me out if they didn't like it. But guess what? The overwhelming majority wanted me in that position. Unlike you. Fuck you. So maybe you're just butthurt. I don't know, but that's false. This right here is just a false statement. I'm sorry it hurts your feelings. You didn't get your way, but fuck you. Where his sole action has been proposing to reclaim liquidity on various dexes, but even this had to have multiple follow-ups by prodding from Cristiano and others to actually get it on chain. Yeah, no shit, because I'm a busy fucking man. And we need to have things in order, like conversating with people who were in the multi-sigs, right? You think it's just as easy as like get shit done? It's not, my friend. I was actually involved in getting this work done. You were just sitting on the fucking sidelines, listening, observing. You don't know what it fucking took for me to contact Rama and everybody else that were on these previous sub-DAOs to get this shit done. You think it just happens like that? Kiss my fucking ass. I put a lot of goddamn work into it. And so did Cristiano. Yes, he had to keep on to me a couple of times, but just like anybody else, we were there to work as a team. Fuck you. That's the real truth of the matter. You think it's that goddamn easy? I wish it was. I wish it was. And yes, I have been saying that, but I've never said it was solely just me. Have I? I've never said that. I've always said with the help of my teammates, my fellow delegates, and the charter. I've always said that. So suck rocks and suck rocks and kick dirt. I'll say it backwards because it's probably even worse. Now he wants to have sole authority over the chain. No, I don't. No, I don't. No, I don't. You guys picked up that ball and ran with it. I've told you I want to implement a layer above the current structure that we have and reduce the things that actually hinder us, right? I don't think there should be so many interactions. I think we should be able to make things happen quicker. I think we should reduce the bottlenecks that we have within the structure. That's what I want to do. And the people below me and the people that are the Juno network still have the authority over me. So stop spreading lies and your bullshit. Go on to it. Now he wants to have sole authority over the chain and requesting more in salary per month than all the charter members received in all 6 months. No, that's not true at all. That's not true at all. That is not true at all. And you can even see it, his math right here. In 2 people that we continued to have funding right here, which we'll get to this in a little bit, it's over the salary. So like, why are you spreading lies, dude? Why are you spreading lies? And it doesn't even equate to that because I could be making much less than that. If it's not fruitful, stop. You're just fear-mongering people. Defamation of character is like a real thing. I take it very personal. So again, it's really, and it's even further ironic for people that hide behind, a keyboard and computer screen and never actually come out to the public. It's also even more ironic and funny when it comes from people that are not um, successful in bringing back activity in their own endeavors as well. You can conflate that to value. I don't care. We can just stick with activity though. You want to get harsh? Let's get fucking harsh, my friend. Let's all get harsh and let's stick to the real truths of the matter. I told you as before, I'll debate everybody. You want to go? Let's go. Let's go. You want to come on? I invite you on. We can have this discussion live on stream too. Bet you won't though. Here we go. That and he goes on to say, Tank has now he wants the sole authority of the chain, asking more a month below 6 months. After demonstrating no leadership or initiative within the department. What are you talking about? I, my friend, have gone to every single meeting I possibly could. What do you want from me? What do you want from me? What more do you want from me? I've voted on every single proposal. None of our actions and efforts that we've had were stopped, especially for me not being there to vote. I listened to every single other meeting that I possibly could. Hell, I even went to not as much as you, because I don't know what you do, but you have as much time in the world to sit into every fucking thing. So I don't even know what you do, but definitely not in comparison to you. But I've exhausted myself trying to be there, show leadership by my actions, by my involvement, leading from the front, being there. Per the criticism of my peers, both within and out of the Juno network, in the greater Cosmos ecosystem and beyond. Hell, to the detriment of even my family. Even my family. You know how many times I told my family, hold on, can't mess with you. My sons are downstairs right now because I'm having to deal with this bullshit. Right? Don't come at me with that shit. You are a joke, my friend. Anything and everything you're involved in, I would right now, just because you took this route, would highly suggest personally to have everybody stay fucking far away from you guys. Far away from you guys. Cancerous at best. Sickening behavior from you guys. Rather than looking, he goes on to saying, rather than looking around at those doing work and finding ways to evaluate, I'm getting all worked up. Boost everyone together and to fold the community into operations. Tank has asked for all the money and power to go to himself. Again, wrong, false. Without any community oversight. Again, wrong, false. That's not a leader. Again, I don't know what the fuck your leader thing is. That's a grifter. Oh, now you're calling me a grifter. Okay. The people supporting this proposal reveal more about themselves than they do the charter. So he's talking to all of you guys. All of you guys that voted yay or said a positive thing. Neta Dow is saying to all of you guys, or Little D, who represents Neta Dow, and Neta Dow, if you guys don't want the words of one person to speak for you guys, I would highly suggest that you guys make a public announcement or distance yourself. But if so, you guys are one and the same to me. He's talking to all of you guys. Someone serious about leadership would have. Someone serious about leadership would have put forward this proposal a month ago to give community time to process the proposal, evaluate the charter in light of it, and collectively worship a proper structure. Are you just conveniently forgetting that I brought up multiple times that I don't think that this is actually working? Are you just conveniently forgetting that I've been the one actually saying this same message over and over and over in all of the meetings whenever I possibly could? I played your game. I played your ball game. Your ball game sucks. It's not entertaining anymore. I'm doing what I can do as a good leader because I think it's more damaging to allow you guys to keep pushing through nomination proposals before asking in some way, shape, or form if the community wants to keep doing this charter. I think that's more damaging. So, as a good leader, I'm proposing what I'm proposing to restructure this charter in a more productive way that I know, well, I think I should say, is best. Your leadership definition and the way that you want to go about doing things you're a very manipulative person. You know that? You remind me of you're probably, if you have a girlfriend or something like that, maybe boyfriend, I don't know. You're probably a very narcissistic, very manipulative person in real life. You definitely are on chain. Um, that's just my opinion, though, right? Could be wrong. Hopefully, you're a good person with just over like bullish, unrealistic expectations of life. I don't know. I'm hoping that's the case for you. Hopefully you're a genuine person that actually believes all this stuff, but just is just in this own belligerent, delirious world about how the real world is. But yeah, if not, I probably would assume that you're a narcissist and probably very manipulative. Um, anyway, it goes on to say, someone serious about leadership would have put forth this proposal months ago. He goes on to saying, and collectively work your proper structure work plan. And this is a naked fly by night power grab. I don't know how it's a fly by night. This is literally the same stuff that I proposed months ago. So it's like definitely not a fly by night power grab. Matter of fact, I said similar things in the spirit of Juno proposal like a long time ago and all this other stuff. Like not entirely, but like, I've been saying my sense for a while now. So, good luck trying to convince people of that. And yeah, I'm recorded. So go look at all that back again. You can try to paint that picture. It's not the truth though. Um, I'll be there in a second. I'm dealing with stupid people. Yeah, yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah, sacrificing my time in things that are really important to deal with your dumbass. Um, anyway, and transition plan to get these out. Instead, this is naked fly by night power grab. And the only leadership it demonstrates is that Tank has little respect for his colleagues and for the Juno community. Absolutely wrong. I have a lot of respect for you guys and my colleagues. That he's willing to throw them in the dirt and brazenly rob them with half-assed, we need a strongman bullshit. I don't need to respect you to work with you. I don't. Sorry, I got out there. I don't need to respect you to work with you. I can respect your work. Your actions speak louder than words, right? I don't. Where you? What fluffy world do you live in? I said this many times before. I can work with all kinds of people if they're productive and we're all working towards a common goal and they're realistic about their expectations, right? We can have differences of opinion all day long. Me putting up this proposal is actually my way of respecting the charter, because if not, I would have said that let's just dissolve the charter. But again, if you go back into where I've posted and I've illustrated that the charter is still intact here, or maybe even if you would have really read between the lines, which you claim to do, but obviously not very well, you would have been able to actually deduce from my proposal that I wasn't saying dismantle the charter and the people therefore within it. Or maybe actually, if you would have been really lurking, like apparently you do, you would have heard me say multiple times that I want people not to get it mistaken, that I'm not saying or advocating that I want the charter to be dissolved. I just said I want it to be restructured. Anyway, anyway, man, then he goes on to saying false things here under this proposal. Again, you're drawing conclusions and assuming that my proposal has any of this. And if you've listened to me say on Chris's stream the other day and other times that I've commented, this is nothing like that. This is nothing. Who said that I was going to keep Camel to do AI? This is you personally talking about your frustrations right now. Just be honest about it. This is you talking about Camel and Highlander with your own interactions and in your own frustrations. And this is you using this word again in a manipulative way. Uh, no, but I never said that. I never said that at all. Uh, Nobody ever said anything about Core One vestings being continued in exchange for nothing in particular. You guys have produced that so far. Nothing has happened from that. I've never said anything. You guys have heard me before. My core focus for the first 3 months is going to be restructuring, of course, and seeing who actually wants to stay and play ball and actually do the work and get compensated for it, because I think work should be compensated, right? But I want to put back in a position somebody who can maintain our chain, bring forth an NFT platform, a swap platform, and a microgrants. I want to nurture the commitments that we currently have that the chart has been actually able to implement. And I want to do another variation of a microgrants program so that we can start incentivizing and attracting smart contract developers. So this is again another form of you just gaslighting people and spreading FUD, speaking out your ass. Stop. Just stop. Or go somewhere else already. Seriously, how much Juno do you guys have? How much do you guys actually own? Personally, not your DAOs, not what your validator is validating. How much do you own? Because you guys seem to always want to go that route, right? Come on. Okay, he goes on to saying this as well, and I'll get off my soapbox because we've been going for almost 2.5 hours. But I think this was good. This was good for me. I don't know about you guys, but this was good for me. And then we'll see, and we'll watch to see what houses burn and which ones actually rise to the occasion. Right? We have 400 people watching right now. You notice that the only people with an obligation to work on Juno's technical side are the very bottom, making the least. Are at the very bottom, making at the least. It is deeply ironic that Tank and others complained about the charter's bureaucratic bloat when this proposed budget is the swine aqua non of bureaucracy, top heavy payments to administrators and favored lagabos. Again. You're just it just cost wise. This is nothing different than what we've basically been doing right now, cost wise at least, right? What I'm talking about when it comes to bloat is having too many people doing all of the same, or some of them not doing anything at all within the structure. I think the structure is good. I think we should compensate people better. I think we need to have a budget for. I think you need to spend. This is something that I think a lot of you guys, not you guys that are watching stream. I think you guys are smart people, but a lot of people don't understand that it costs money to make money. It costs value. Just because it's happened a lot of times in the crypto space does not mean that that's the truth of reality. You need to spend, right? You need to spend. You can't not spend. I'm sorry, or else you're just going to get this. You're going to get a lot of nothing. A lot of nothing. Right? I'm just being real. So, I don't know. The chain has, he goes on to saying stuff about the chain and its market cap. The chain may have 20 mil plus market cap, but the liquidity in existing pools is significantly less, which I agree. It's about 2 million. I don't know if that's actually, but we'll just go with it, which is realistically all anyone can get out of Juno. The market cap is irrelevant. The budget is therefore extremely tight. Yes, I know. Juno needs to be conservative with everything, with its deal making, everything. Paying 7,500 monthly to a guy who hasn't created a single budget. I told you what I would like to do with that allocation. I told you, right? I don't know. I can't create a budget because I don't actually know what the other side of the conversation is going to look like when we have some funds to work with. What do you want me to do? Say Casper over here is going to give me this evaluation to deploy their DApp? What do you want me to do? Pull shit out of my ass and lie like you are? I'm not pulling it out of my ass. I'm asking for a budget, certain amount. And then when things are happening, or if things do happen, because nothing's a guarantee, I will proactively report what's going on. Just like we mandate now. What do you want me to do? Say the suitors that we don't have currently have pretend evaluations for their DApp, and this is what it's going to cost us. Be realistic about shit. It costs money to make money is something that security would say. It's something that anybody in business or that have produced anything in the markets, I'm just talking about in general, free markets would say. You have land and you're a farmer. Oh God, why am I explaining this stuff? You have land, you're a farmer. You want to go sell your stuff on the market, right? For an upcharge. Say you have corn. It costs for you to upkeep that land so that you can actually, you need to pay taxes on land. You need to fertilize the land. You need to work the land. You need to have cows on the land. You need to have all of these other things so that you can produce one little item to upsell for profit, hopefully. Don't conflate things. Don't. Everything and anything that makes money is a security, right? right? Is that what you guys are saying? Is that your guys' defense to everything? Then why are you guys here? Um, I've offered my evaluation, which I actually really liked. I really liked his evaluation of the things that he thought was wrong with the charter. I actually really liked it. Um, blah 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 blah. Gosh, I'm almost running out of energy to keep reading his bullshit. As I said in the past, the comms department has failed the department and hindered its process of the charter. Indeed, the comms department were hosting. Like, I'm gonna just say this. Yeah, some of the things weren't met up to the standard of what we all agreed upon. What do you want the comms department to relay when there's nothing happening? What do you guys want from them when you guys bind their hands so much that there's nothing to report? At some point, spitting out nothing is going to be a negative. We're going to get diminishing returns when we go live on Spaces. Sorry, guys, we don't got nothing to report. Oh, fuck. Why should we buy? There's still nothing fucking happening. Perhaps these evaluations, but I will go with it. Like there was some struggles there. There's definitely some struggles with the structure and all this other stuff, but nothing really seemed to get fixed. Perhaps these evaluations and conversation about the charter would have been happening all along. Again, trying to blame other people instead of looking at the entirety of itself. Perhaps, right? Perhaps if shoulda, coulda, woulda, maybe if things were ideal world, things would have been different, right? Perhaps we can play that. Sure, I'll acknowledge that and play that game. Because all this radical last minute proposal from the, it's not radical and it's definitely not last minute again. Who now wants to be a leader? Look, buddy, again, your judgment and you're trying to paint this picture of like, oh, now he wants to be a leader. What the fuck do you think a delegate is? What the fuck do you think a person like who steps up to the plate is? Just because people didn't want to vote you in as any kind of role in the past, look, take your cry cookies and go eat them in the corner somewhere else, man. Like seriously, stop it. Stop. What else do you want me to? I don't see you actively every day on communities defending Juno. I can tell you right now, and I can put this out there right now to the broad, not just the Juno ecosystem. I can put this out there right now. When I go on spaces, when I go on interviews, when I go just in anywhere, it doesn't have to be the Juno network. I've actively for a long fucking time now defended why I thought Juno was great. I don't see you fucking anywhere other than your small little circle, your small little pocket of your echo chamber place that you seem to come out of every once in a while. I don't see you fucking anywhere. Kick rocks with that shit again. This proposal, which claims to supersede the charter, it's just reformatting what it is, has undoubtedly chilled and discouraged anyone from nominating themselves. No. Let's get this right now. I can say this from my own involvement in the charter as a delegate. It was hard to begin with to get people to interact with us. No. Don't say this is my fault. It was hard to begin with. We lost people because of this charter. We lost Reese because of this charter. Partly and because of this charter. Don't try to put this on, because of Tank's radical thing. The fuck out of here with that. As it stands, the community is being the fancy words, manipulated by evaluations of the charter from the people who largely didn't attend the charter meetings and whose primary demonstrated interest is increasing their own compensation from Juno while eliminating oversight and otherwise using community pool funds for their private interest. Again, I think I'm being very much more than fair from what I'm proposing to try to do. If you think this is worth my time, I should just wipe my hands with this and I'd be a lot more fruitful other places. But I actually believe that there's something here. But I also believe that people should be compensated for their work. Again, I don't know what world you live in, bro. I have no idea what fantasy world you live in. Do you live at home with your mom and dad? Do you eat ramen noodles and like saltine chips every single day, bro? I'm just saying, because wherever pocket of reality that you're coming from must be in this really like padded, comfy fucking place. It really must be. You have a lot of time, so would not be surprised, man. As it stands, because you were definitely. I'll give him that. You were in every single fucking everything when it came to meetings, but I don't see you anywhere else, which is weird. As it stands, the community, blah 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 blah. I read that. An honest conversation needs to be happened, and I'm having that conversation right now with the greater community. There's over 400 people, 434 people watching this right now. I'm having that conversation right now. You like to have conversations in your echo chamber, but I like to have them out in the open. So, but at this point, the air is so toxic and clouded with victimization, victim being a victim, really, from the highest compensated members of Juno, gaslighting and self serving bullshit that I doubt it is possible in the short term left in the comms. And even if comms contributors were to finally provide their service they've been paid and failed to deliver for the 6 months, again, he's taking digs at other people. Uh, what has happened? What has failed Juno is not the charter. Mm, I like how you're trying to like avoid any kind of no, son. Sorry, I'm still dealing with dumb people. Again, I'm neglecting involvement with my family because I have to put up with dumb shit like this. Um, but I really do find it very, very, I guess, cringy, sad, um, irritating. I don't know what the right word is I'm looking for right now. That somebody who stands on their box and their claim to fame is the structure of all these governance things, with NetaDAO and the structure of the Juno working group and the structure of that charter. Like I put in all this work and stuff like that for the charter. I find it very, very funny and ironic that you do not want to at all even entertain the idea that the structure of the charter was what is failing and not making things work. Because you say it right here. What has failed Juno is not the charter. Coming from the person that had the overwhelmingly big hand in creating the structures, right? And influencing the structures. It's kind of ironic that you can't even admit or even take partial blame of the inefficiencies. You just poke in at everybody else. Everybody else is the blame. And I guess so. Basically, anyway, in any case, the proposal puts Juno clearly afoul of the law of the United States for the sole benefit of Tank and whoever he allocates community pool funds to. So if I was like the elected leader by the people and I allocated funds back down to the board members or charter, like it is right now, what are you talking about? And again, are you a fucking lawyer? Especially, are you a securities lawyer too? The change should find a realistic legal way to transition from the charter to something else, if something else is what's the desired. Again, good luck, Juno. So this is this your resigning of Juno when you say good luck or goodbye? You should take your validator down and go then, right? So yeah, that's that. Sorry, fam. Streaming for almost 3 hours to to address things. I first want to say, and this is kind of funny, thank you to everybody that gave constructive criticisms and actually had actual questions and concerns that were presented in a way in which were beneficial in the proposal. There was a lot of questions that actually, and there was a lot of individuals who were doubtful and who had questions about it that provided feedback and which made me realize that I did need to structure it and provide, maybe some visuals and workflows and define myself a little bit better and things. And for that, I really do appreciate you guys. You guys are open minded, great individuals. Really, really, that was really productive and really great. I really do appreciate that. Um, Thank you to all the supporters. I really like. Who knows, right? Who knows? Maybe this nothing's guaranteed. Who knows? We're doing a first ever again. We're pushing boundaries, right? Um, with everything Little D said, I'm not a lawyer. I doubt that he is one as well, whether a regular lawyer or any kind of lawyer, any kind of capacity, but definitely not a securities lawyer. Um, so I will say I don't know. I will say I don't think what he's saying is true. I think a lot of what he's saying is grasping for straws, and he's speaking from his social and financial position, right? From both being the person that's worked so hard into what he's been doing, which was the Juno working group, the actual structure of the charter, and his Neta DAO. Maybe he's just speaking in frustration because it's not working again. I don't know. I don't know. I do, and I will say, I don't believe what he's saying is factual and correct. I know the things that he said about my character are wrong and uncalled for and unjust in many different ways, but that's neither here nor there. I don't mind people thinking certain ways about me. I guess two fucks, right? I guess two fucks. There's a saying, lions care not the opinions of sheep. To me, my friend, you are a sheep. And I like to view myself as a lion. You might think you're a lion. But again, I've said my piece and I will not address you again. Bah, somewhere else. This was just me giving you a friendly reminder of where you are in the flock. You don't see it that I'm a successful business person or leader. Others disagree. I disagree with that. I've shown people me and my cards and my actions for years now. Nobody even knows who the fuck you are. So I'm not too worried. Anyway, uh, but yeah, any questions? Any questions at all, guys? 444 people, guys. Don't forget, please do me a huge favor. We are gonna keep pushing forward with things. I think there's a lot of people that want this to happen, that would like to see reform, restructuring. I think there's a lot of developers that want to see reform and restructuring. I think there's a lot of things that could happen that might be beneficial in forms of activity for the chain, that we could possibly facilitate and do if we actually entertain proposals such as this. Maybe the proposal doesn't work. Maybe we get voted down. That's fine. I just got to put my effort in the best way that I know possible, or else I'm going to feel bad about myself. Maybe it doesn't work. Maybe it does work. But I do know the path that we've been taking thus far is definitely not working in what everybody that I speak to want from the chain or would like to see from the chain. And so, yeah. Let me go in here. I know I've missed a lot of. Let me go here. Let me see here. Awi says, I saw a tweet of yours mentioning you support Tank. Please stop this meltdown if true. Reese. Reese is just having fun. I think like in the comments and stuff like that. Like, hey, you gotta have fun sometimes with it. It's kind of, if not, you'll get affected and go maddening with it. I think Reese has expressed to me and like you just said on socials that he supports it. And so like, um yeah. Chicken Taco said keyboard warrior. Yeah, and like essentially I'm no different, right? I'm just behind a screen. But I'm not hiding. I'm not hiding to the criticisms and or opinions of others. I'm right here. I've always been right here. You know, um, like family. Yeah, yeah. The post was so off base. Oh yeah, his post. Yeah, keep streaming. I would skill, but I gotta go train in jujitsu here in a little bit as well, and then of course attend to my family. Trim the fat. Chicken Taco says that's the idea, right? Be more efficient. Not do away with everything, but be more efficient. Um, always says it costs money. Yeah, we already talked about that. It costs money. It sounds like what a security would say. Um, if devs could pay bills for a living, devs would have time to develop on Juno instead of freelancing WordPress Web 2. Yeah, yeah. I mean, if they were at all incentivized, or if we could actually make it lucrative for them to actually come back and iterate on the chain and develop on the chain or build whatever you want to call it, right, back on the chain, they'd be here. But right now, because of the governance structure, that we have set forth. It just hasn't happened. And I don't think going forward with the same old is going to solve that. Um, Ari says, is something a business owner would say. Yeah, Ari, it's something a business. Yeah. 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 I've already covered that. I agree. But it's also what makes most token coin securities. Yeah. 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 There's a lot of things with most tokens, right? There was earlier pre-sales. There was early investors, angel investors, things like that. Again, knowing only what we know to be true. And if it's not, like, I'll retract this. But, the token distribution at origin, or when it was deployed, was all via an airdrop. And so things are different fundamentally for Juno. Yeah. The whole expectation of profit. Yeah. The whole expectation of profit uh, is well, and you can look at that, right? You can definitely look at that. Like, if somebody buys a token, and in little D's defense, which I still think is flawed, and especially gray at best. Anybody that buys any asset, uh, is it a commodity or is it a security, right? Does it facilitate a function more than it does speculative value return? And in the dApps, and this is what I've been trying to say, that we get going forward, I think what we need to focus on is that token actually creating or facilitating a function, a means to do X, Y, Z, right? In this space, other than just swap back and forth to speculate for a token price go up, right? It needs to actually facilitate things and needs to actually be used for certain things. Um, but yeah, that's again another kind of worms that people need to look further down the road. I'm thinking of that mindset, right, to always keep it in that light. I think Juno, much like Ethereum, right, should be a means to do things. I know a lot of people buy Ethereum and other tokens speculating that the price goes up. The NFT platform that I'm developing right now, I have in the function of things, in the structure of things, want to work it as to where it has more of a function to the network, or features that function in certain ways for the network that are more, looked at it in that way, where it's actually creating a means to transact, a means to facilitate a function, than monies, right? Because money is just like, this is a set value, and same thing. We are transacting amongst for items and stuff like that. But again, it gets into a very big gray area. But I'm not going to handcuff me or scare myself to death with those gray areas. I can only do what I think is right, and I'm doing them right. So it is what it is. Yeah, even small bounties would be fire. It would be fire for a Michael Grant thing. You must have not been listening to it. Yeah. Let me see here. Skillet says even small bounties would be fire. Yep. 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 Anyway, guys, that's what I got, man. That's what I got. That was my raw first reaction review since putting up the draft proposal on Commonwealth. Again, if you guys don't know about it, it's the Dear Juno Network prop that I put up, and it's just a draft proposal. It's a draft proposal to get people thinking. Right, that it literally is. I have full intentions, if it makes sense, if it is agreeable from the community, to put it on chain. But it is a draft proposal. I'm going through the steps like people want you to do in this space. So that you aren't looked at as like a radical or somebody that just put something live on chain. I'm trying to give people adequate time to digest things, to talk about things constructively, and so that maybe I can reach a better conclusion or redraft the proposal in a way that is more acceptable for naysayers and believers, the like, right? Like, so again, it's really funny to see people's true colors come out. Halfway expected it. It's okay. But that's what it is, guys. And really, there's a lot of potential. Don't let the few drown out the masses, because a lot of times it's the few that are the loudest and that want you to believe that's what the masses want. But if you just looked earlier when we first started this off, there was like maybe two really highly critical comments made, and the rest of it was very, very positive. And so, I can only assume the direction that we're heading is correct, um, and is what the chain and the people want. And I'm going to continue pursuing that path. And if the people that are who they are want to stand in the way and they want to get on a microphone or microphone, what's the one that amplifies? Megaphone, microphone, whatever, and amplify their voice, let it be. But don't get your panties in a wad. Don't get your underwear in a bunch, or don't get whatever you wear all bundled up when I do the same in turn, right? I'm campaigning for what I believe is right. You do the same. I fully advocate for that. You do you. Do what you need to do. If you think that I'm a grifter, if you think that I'm not healthy, you think I'm doing something unlawful, do whatever you need to do. I'll do it in turn. Anyway, guys, I really appreciate you guys. 464 viewers. That tells me that people care. That tells me that people care because I've done a lot of streams about a lot of other things, but 464 viewers right now. I thank you guys for your time. I apologize for the ranting, but I don't. And I hope you guys are of like mind. But in any case, this is it. Let's go. More spaces, more videos to come, more iterations on the proposal, maybe, right? More edits and stuff like that, more streams. We'll definitely do that, right? I'm sure I won't have a uh, a lack of content in the upcoming months, especially if this gets passed. There's definitely going to be a lot more streams and spaces to be had, right? I really do appreciate you guys, man.